Welcome to the Class is Permanent podcast. Today is Friday, March 27th, episode 32 here for you guys, and we have a doozy for you. Of course, we have some big news that broke over the past couple of days. We have our recap here on the World Cup qualifying playoffs. Super crazy games. Excited to get into that. And very exciting news. Something we've been hitting out for a while. Very glad we were able to get it done officially tonight. We have our first pro player interview with John Murphy Jr. of One Knoxville Soccer Club. Quick clap again for John for us. Thank you, John. Super exciting episode. Let's get into it. Away we go.
Class is permanent! Hey, 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 form is temporary!
Alrighty. As per usual, everybody, I am joined by the incredible, the handsome, I guess recovering, Daniel Capucci. No middle name today.
Try again.
Daniel, 51 Elm Street, Morristown, New Jersey.
Okay.
Capucci.
All right. Okay. Hey, Ethan. How are you?
I'm good, Pooch. You know that? I'm good. It's kind of funny because we've all just spoke. We did the interview right before this. So for those that don't know podcasting, like you obviously do interviews when those who you're interviewing are
Don't
available.
give away the secrets. Don't give away the secrets.
I was just going to say, so I'm not telling you how we did it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that being said, it's funny to do an intro after I've just spoken to Pooch for the last 2 hours. Again, though, Pooch, I appreciate you asking me how I'm doing. You guys usually don't ask me, and I always have a lot to share. But we're good. We're good. We're excited. And, of course, we're joined by somebody who I've been very proud of today. Very proud of. I told him that before the show started. He's actually been doing producer work this episode outside of just reading random players in an 11. Mr. Admin Owen, how are we?
Yeah, good. It's been a stressful couple hours trying to get all this to work, and we didn't. That's the best part. And by we, I mean me. But that being said, a lot of progress has been made. You're listening to this right now, so clearly nothing drastically went wrong throughout this process. But what day is it? Come Monday, we will. If you go on the YouTube for Tuesday's episode, you will see a lower third graphic, an intro animation, all kinds of fun stuff. You'll see words on the screen, which is new for a Class is Permanent podcast. And it's going to be worth all our strife, all our late night recording. And it's going to be nice for you to look at in the shower or while you're doing work or something.
Hey, let's get 3 claps for Owen real quick.
Yeah, really, just 3.
It's not done yet. It's not deserving yet.
Okay.
A lot of hoops to jump through.
That's why you got 3. That's why you got 3 claps.
Good stuff there, O. Yeah, O has been working diligently in the background. We are looking to try and make the aesthetic appearance better. And this, of course, as always, our big goal with this podcast, we got to grow it. And we want to do more clips. We love clips. I love clips. So we need to get more clips going here. But that being said,
Speaking of clips, haircuts, $12.99 now at Great Clips.
Yeah, you notice how Pooch is the only one that did that. I will never. Haircuts are something we don't go cheap on here, fellas.
Ethan, they paid us to say that. You can't rip them.
I would rather. Let me think of a company that will.
They already put the deposits in the bank, brother. We can't slander them.
I got to think of a company I would rather represent, but that also won't get John canceled by the Knoxville fans who tune in for this episode.
Yeah, actually, let's not do any of that.
I'll move on. If you are a One Knoxville fan who's tuned in, welcome. We are from New Jersey. We'd love to visit Knoxville. If someone wants to house us, maybe John will. We'd love to go see a Tennessee game. That'd be sick. Maybe that'll be our first away day to Knoxville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Would be a blast. But let's get into some of the news here real quick. Quick throwback to last episode. See what I'm doing here, Pooch, is I'm getting people who are new to listening to this to now go back and listen to another episode. More streams, more sponsorships. Anyway, so Owen, very gratefully, he broke down the Chapel Roan versus Jorginho beef. I told Owen I'm going to trust him blindly. Whatever Owen says, I'm riding with him. I trust Owen. He was very well versed in this. Owen, today it came out that you claimed you claimed, and all the other Chapel Roan fans, which I'm borderline. I'm a pseudo fan. I like Pink Pony Club, hand up. It's one of my bops. It's one of my bangers, and I know bangers. You claim that the bodyguard was actually from the hotel and not hers. We have now, and I'll let you get in there, Owen, don't worry. We have now been made aware that it is her direct bodyguard that removed Jorginho's daughter from her. I told you I trust you blindly, and I feel really betrayed. I'll give you 10 seconds to explain yourself.
Listen, I was reporting what at the time was the believed story amongst the masses. That is what Ms. Roan defended. That is what we had some other sources saying. I never came here and said, blank is innocent, blank did nothing wrong, blank is absolved of all controversy. I said, this is the situation. I expressed my biases, but I didn't let those biases infect the story in which I was telling. And I apologize if I had painted a certain narrative to sway one certain way. I apologize. And I apologize if I've steered somebody wrong. But at the end of the day, I did this diligently and truthfully, and that cannot be taken away from me.
You know, you've done a lot today to help us get the podcast better with production, so I'll give you the pass there. Secondly, you used a lot of really good words and a lot of really good sentences. You're good. You're clean. I'm not going to debate you here. Sometimes I use good words, but you strung a couple together. Fair play. Man's in a flow state right now. Pooch, do you have anything on that before we move into some real news?
He almost convinced me to switch sides and go Chapel just because of how good the words he used were. So I agree with Ethan's sentiment there.
Fair enough. Well done, O. Well done. Owen's matured a lot since I met him. He even asks, spoiler, he asks John a question in the interview, which is like a big deal. We're trying to socialize Owen more. He really just hangs out at the YMCA pool, which is kind of weird. Like, you know, just hanging out around kids all day, watching them swim. Yeah, I wish you guys could see the look he just gave me. I don't think I've ever seen. I've said a lot of shit about Owen on this podcast. I don't think anyone.
Well, that's a fair reaction that he had. That's a fair reaction that Owen had.
Again, to everyone down in Knoxville listening, Owen is a lifeguard at the YMCA. He's paid to do so. It's okay. He saves lives. But let's get into some real soccer news before John gets in trouble and Pooch loses his full-time job.
Stop. You can't do that. You can't do that. You can't do that. You have to cut that. You can't say that.
No, I'll definitely cut that.
You're not going to cut that, are you?
No, I will cut that. It's okay. It's okay.
We can't do that. We can't do that.
I've done that on multiple episodes.
That's the first time I've realized.
I've done that on multiple episodes. I've given out your address.
The address I don't care about. The address I could care less about.
Shit, I don't care if there's shooters out there. Pull up. All right,
well, see, I care about that too.
All right, let's jump into some real news here. Mo Salah. So the news broke that Mo Salah to officially leave Liverpool at the end of the season. I think this is something that obviously in January we saw the rumblings coming that maybe he would have left then. It's pretty obvious what was going to happen here, that he was leaving. Obviously big news coming out, I guess, kind of mid-season. I don't know, end of the season. I think the big question is just, where does Mo go, right? I don't know. Like, I really don't know what the best fit is. This like a Saudi move, which kind of makes sense. I think he's flirted with that in the past. Is this maybe MLS? I don't see him in the MLS. I don't know.
Are you asking or are you telling?
No, I asked, where does Mo go?
Okay.
And I gave a little backside.
I think Mo Salah is going to go either to Real Madrid or Saudi.
Interesting. So you think maybe they sell Rodrigo? Or no, you just think...
I don't even know if they sell Rodrigo.
I guess with the ACL tear.
Yeah, like I could see there being an opening. He's a pure right winger, which Rodrigo really isn't. So I could see them basically being like 2-year contract. You get paid basically what you're getting paid at Liverpool, especially if there's like, if Liverpool just release him and don't like transfer him out, all you're doing is...
He's a free agent, I think, right?
Is he? I don't know how long his contract was extended for. I thought it was extended for multiple years.
I'll take a quick look.
Last summer.
Contract. No, his contract was previously set to run until summer 2027. Yeah, I don't know.
So next summer.
It's kind of weird.
So like I would think that if he's gonna leave Liverpool and they kind of want him to go anyway, they'll probably find a mutual termination, and then he'll basically Real Madrid, which has kind of been their transfer strategy in recent years, is okay, we'll pick you up on a free, like easy. He's played with Trent before, like obviously, so like that would make sense down the right wing. Those two, I could see that, or Saudi. Like I think he'd get the bag in either place, either way.
I think it's going to be Saudi, and I only say that because if Real Madrid does come knocking, if I'm Liverpool, like I have to sell him. You know what I mean? Even if it's 20 mil, like I'm not just going to let him walk for free.
Well, at that point, you're thinking like Real Madrid aren't gonna they're gonna wait till he is a free agent,
right? Well,
like they're not gonna sit there and be like, oh, well, we'll give you 10 mil for him if they know like he wants to leave. Like he's played his hand. He's said, I want to leave. So at this point, Liverpool are holding no cards, being like, oh, like, will you take him for 10 Real? Real will be like, no, we'll just wait till you guys let him go anyway. So
if they do, they technically don't have to.
If they do, they don't have to. But if they do, like I said,
Real,
Salah's holding all the cards.
I think he'll just go to Saudi. He obviously almost went in January. I think it's clear he just wants to probably make a bag and chill out at this point. And I get what you're saying about Real. I also just think that'll get complicated a little bit with playtime. But then number two is also, again, like the whole Liverpool thing. Because I know what you're saying, like Real will wait for you to release him, but they may go, well, we're not going to. And a Saudi team will pay. You know what I mean? Even if it's like a Saudi team will be like...
Once again, like I agree with the Saudi point. Like I think we both agree to each other's points where like I don't think like Real's gonna sit there and wait for a 33 or 34-year-old Mo Salah to like make this move, because they know like we still will have Rodrigo coming back. We could have other guys fill in at right wing. It's not the biggest need for us. It's kind of just like, oh, market opportunity. Like Mo Salah can fill in until Rodrigo's healthy, and then he'll be the backup to him for the rest of the season and then next year. Like for them, there's options. Like market opportunity. If Saudi gets involved, Real Madrid isn't going to start a bidding war for Mo Salah. They're going to be like, Saudi, you can have him.
Yeah, we'll see what he decides. Let's talk about Real Madrid real quick. So Real Madrid have been in the news here and a bit on fire, just regarding like their physio staff. This is something that came out years ago with, I think it was a female nutritionist who came out and said that essentially the team, this is just how crazy the players are and how much they run the club. Like she came in doing what any physio would kind of try and do, or like fitness. I think she was a nutritionist.
Yeah,
like,
nutritionist.
Right. And explain like, all right, like these are the meal plans we're going to put you on, yada, yada, yada. And some of the head physios there that oversaw the department essentially told her like, hey, like you don't change things here. The players will do what they want. They're going to eat what they want. Just be grateful you have a job here. Like, just shut up. Like, how grateful should you be that you get to work at Real Madrid and get paid to be here? And we're not asking you to actually do work. That was an issue. On top of it, now we're hearing that Mbappe had issues with his knee where they apparently misdiagnosed the wrong knee. How did Mbappe let that happen? And then Camavinga had the same issue too. How is that possible?
I don't know, but that's hilarious.
How is that possible?
Like, it's so funny that like somebody afterwards is like, I don't know what he's complaining about. Like these scans look perfect. The knee looks fine. And Mbappe is still complaining. And then they're like, oh shit, we did the wrong knee. Like,
right.
Like, how do you tell Mbappe, like you go to Mbappe and you're like, yeah, you know, for the past 3 games, how you still have had that injury. Yeah, we scanned the wrong knee. Like, I know you told us it was the right knee, but we scanned the left one.
There's 2 people at fault here. Number one's obviously the physio. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Apparently, too, with Camavinga's injury, they say it was his left knee. They treated him whatever for his right knee, and I guess they thought it was minor, and they put him back on the bench, right? He was on the bench for the next 2 games. I think he played one of them. He got hurt and was out a couple of weeks because of that, because they didn't actually treat it.
Isn't that similar to what happened with Rodrigo?
Yeah.
Or did Rodrigo know about it and decide to play on it?
The partial tear. I think that was probably more of a consensus decision. I mean, we were talking a little Seton Hall and Miles Powell hoops. I think it was probably something like that where he kind of knew.
Okay.
I think. I mean, I don't know. But I feel like if he didn't know there's a partial tear, there's a lawsuit there. You can't, like, as a player, imagine like you tear your ACL and like they don't tell you that you have a partial tear.
Well, even Mbappe, like, I think he'll play in the World Cup.
Yeah.
But imagine he had to miss the World Cup because they misdiagnosed his knee and it popped in one of the games that he played after that. Like, we already joke that Real Madrid's owned by Mbappe already.
Yeah.
But like, if that happened, he would legitimately own Real Madrid. Like, the amount of money that he would sue them for, like, he would just own the club.
A lot of these guys have their legs insured too. Like, I know that was like, that's like a legitimate thing you can have if your money comes from, your legs, or you're like an artist in your hands, or your throat, if you're a singer and OnlyFans model, you can actually have them insured because God forbid something happens, you can't make your salary. So, I mean, yeah, this is like one of the most bonkers stories I've ever seen, and I feel like it's being very downplayed. Maybe I'm just overthinking it based on what I've read, but everything I've read is just like fire alarms going off, and everyone's like, "Oh wow, that's crazy." It's like, this is a professional organization. How do you? And the second person I blame is Mbappe. They're looking at the wrong knee in front of you. Kamavinga, they treated the wrong ankle in front of you.
MRI? Was it an MRI?
Okay, Pooch, regardless of what it was, they come in and start wrapping your left ankle when your right ankle's hurting, Pooch. And you're just like, oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. Pooch, they give you a shot in your left ankle when you need one in your right ankle.
Yeah. Okay. Now you're starting to make sense.
Now, if you told me that they went and had surgery and operated on the wrong knee while you're like under anesthesia, all right, like whatever, you're asleep. But like these guys are, if these guys are getting anesthesia to get, a little tape on their ankle, please let me know, because that is going to start a new agenda. I am going to open the floodgates as a Barca fan. Whatever. Let's talk a little bit more about Real Madrid. We're actually going to talk about their crosstown rival, Atletico. Atletico this week has posted a montage of missed calls in their derby match against Real Madrid. And I'm a little torn here. They are right. All the videos I've seen, they are right. I mean, there was the one on Marcus Llorente that was insane. The ref, long story short, dude got bumbleclatted. Like, worse than bumbleclatted. Like...
Bumbleclat. Like, did he get bumbleclatted? Or did he get bumbleclat?
Like that, but with the way you said it the second time, although that represents the force, it makes it sound like the tackle was like, oh yeah, we just like, it was just dirty. He just got like two-footed from two different directions, whatever. My point here is Atletico posts a whole montage of different clips from their game. Now, part of me is like, I love this. A club calling out corruption, making it aware like they're not okay with it, whatever. What I don't like, a little soft. That's like a fan thing to do. I don't know. You know what I mean? That's a fan thing to do. Make a montage. Chelsea fans love bringing out what they call the robbery in 2011, whatever. I have clips to back it on the other side.
I think I do agree that it's just soft. Like, I understand you're mad, but like as a club itself, let the fans do the montages.
Or make like a real appeal. Like go to La Liga and make a real appeal.
The club should do the actual thing and have the fan post the montage. You guys don't
pay some burners. But I get it. They're making a statement. Whatever. I'm not anti making a statement. It's just also like the neutral in me is a little like, come on, like we can't be doing this. But it was definitely kind of funny to say. There. Anything else we missed here before we get into our World Cup qualifying recap?
I don't think so.
All good. Let's jump into it then. Alrighty. Our FIFA World Cup qualifying recap today, or I guess yesterday when you're listening to this now. Awesome games. It was hard to keep up with them. Transparently, I was actually at the gym, so I was watching a couple on the TVs and listening a little bit on the FOTMob app. We're not sponsored. Blank that out, Owen. Make sure that they don't get $1 out of me until they correct the pronunciations. But yeah, I just saw texts from different group chats coming in like, did you guys see this in this game, that one? Let's start at the top. We'll keep it easy. We'll get into some of the better ones. Turkey beats Romania 1-0. Romania is eliminated. Turkey will be playing... I should have really put this down. Do we know who they're playing?
Turkey plays, I believe... should I give it away? Maybe save it for last after we go through all the games, because I think we'll give away who wins if people didn't watch. You know what I'm saying?
No, the games are a day old.
But some people maybe don't know. They didn't watch.
Is this a bit, or are you confused?
No, I think we're both confused. They're playing Kosovo,
Yeah. Okay.
but like,
I didn't know.
now it just gave away. But now it just gave away that Kosovo upset Slovakia.
How is that giving it away? Who didn't watch the games?
I don't know. Maybe Andrew Harubi, who lives in Denville, didn't watch any of the games.
He works for ADP, I think. Okay. So Harubi, if you're listening to this, just take a quick pause. Come back in like 10 minutes. I get. This is awesome, man. This is Late Night Pod. All right. Yeah. So if you haven't, sorry for ruining the Turkey-Romania game, and I guess now the Kosovo game.
Yeah.
We're going to ruin the rest because that's what we do. We're
Okay.
going to report scores. If you need a break, I'll try and put the time markers in. Just go to the Murphy interview and then come back to this later, I guess. All right. Czechia beats the Republic of Ireland penalties. Owen.
This was a rough one.
Owen, the floor is yours.
They just threw it away. I mean, they were firmly in control first half. And they just simply just started to look lethargic and careless and lazy. And any solid football team will take advantage of that. And the whole second half, they were on their back foot. To be honest, the fact that they didn't lose in regulation, Ireland, surprised me. A couple big defensive stops, a couple big saves at the end there. Extra time, they looked a little better. But no, it was a weak performance, honestly, for most of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And not a terrible showing in penalties. It was just the way penalties go. It takes two mid ones to lose you a game and to dash your World Cup hopes. That's just the way it is. But they were in control and they should not have been in that situation. So it sucks. One day something will make me happy. Today was not that day, and Ireland was not that team. But maybe we'll be back in 2030.
Can I give you a bit of like copium a little bit, Owen?
Yeah, I'd love that.
The Irish team is actually set up perfectly for the Euros to make a good Cinderella run, I feel like. They have a lot of guys around the same age and the age you want them to be at, where they're entering kind of like that late 20s prime of their career. So like Kelleher, 27 years old, in 2 years will be 29. Perfect age for a goalkeeper. Jake O'Brien right now, 24. Nathaniel Collins, 24. Dara O'Shea, 27. So in 2 years, those guys are all gonna be in the primes of their career, and they're playing for Everton, Brentford, and Ipswich right now. 3 pretty good clubs, and that's just like the starting center backs. You then have the strikers. You have a young Troy Parrott, a young Evan Ferguson who's hurt and didn't play, Adam Ida, who's a really good third choice striker. I think they just honestly need to figure out their midfield situation. I think that's probably where they falter the most. They don't really have a bunch of depth in that position, but to me, this is a team where they could pull off like in Albania from last Euros, but a bit further, where you're not expecting them to get out of the group because you're like, wow, I'm shocked Ireland even made it. And then next thing you know, they're in like the round of 16 going up against like a Germany or like a Switzerland. And you're like, they could potentially knock them off and go to the quarters here. So I do think that this group of players, it's the most promising that I've seen from an Irish group in about 20 years. So that's the copium that I have for you.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And I do also think that, yeah, this is the most promising group of guys. Obviously, what they accomplished and the position they were in to even get to that qualifier was a miracle in and of itself. It took a lot of individual plays, mostly from Troy Parrott, obviously, but you know, if you don't have Kelleher and net there, you're not winning those games. And so, yeah, it's promising. It just hurts to miss out on this World Cup, considering Bosnia and Herzegovina might be there. And it's just like, and we can't see an Ireland there.
Yeah.
Obviously qualifying in Europe's a little different. Whatever. What are you going to do?
Sorry, that's definitely a tough one, but you know what? That's baseball. Yes, Pooch has got me saying it now.
Computer,
Jamaica.
computer,
Let's go Jamaica.
make this man fall in love with the quote, "That's baseball." You've been programmed.
We can't start that on this pod because me and Pooch will just sit here for 7 minutes straight, Biden blasting each other and telling each other to have a great day. Yeah, definitely a tough one there, Owen. I'm sorry. Heartbreak happens. But listen, Como is good, so that's good. Denmark beats North Macedonia 4-0. There's nothing to talk about there.
Yeah, this game was BTA.
Italy beats Northern Ireland 2-0. So the Italians will be playing. Is it Sweden?
Damn, you just love giving away games.
Okay, sorry. Poland beats Albania 2-1.
Wait, I wanted to talk about the Italy game.
Slovakia loses.
I can't talk about the Italy game?
No, go ahead. You can talk about it. Whatever, man.
All the fans were booing the Italian national team at halftime.
Were they?
Yeah, because it was still 0-0. And Italy had like 60% possession, but like zero good attack, like zero really big chances in that first half. Like it was just like a horrendous first half. And then they put 2 in the back of the net, and the Tonali basically like put this team on his back and brought him to the next round, which means that Italy's going to falter again and not make the World Cup because they're going to lose to whoever they play in the next round.
100%. Can I continue with giving scores away, or do you want us to?
Yeah.
Poland beat Albania 2-1. Slovakia lose to Kosovo 3-4.
That was a wild game.
Yeah. Is there a little like what's that part of the world called? Is that like Eastern Europe? Is that
no,
like
it's a specific Baltic states.
Is there like a little rivalry there between Slovakia and Kosovo? I'm not sure. I know
not there. Serbia and Kosovo have the rivalry.
So Slovakia just happens to sound.
Do you
like
want me to give you the
Serbia.
Geopolitical background in under 30 seconds?
Do it in 15.
Basically, Kosovo is its own country, but they used to be part of Serbia. They broke off because the people in there demographically are Kosovoian background. Like it's basically they used to be in Serbia.
4,
all the people that live
3,
there are Kosovo.
2.
And so they created their
1.
own country. Serbia hates it. They want that land back. Albania and Kosovo hate Serbia for it.
Yeah, we need a Baltic Cup. I feel like that would be a
terrible idea. No, terrible idea. That's a horrendous idea.
Wow. Okay.
It's a great idea. It's a great idea for us.
Okay.
For the world, if we want peace in this world, terrible idea. That cup will start wars.
There's already wars in the world. I just see it as a little less peace.
Okay. That's a good way of putting it. That was a bar. That was a bar. That was a bar. I have no comeback.
Computer, clip that and make it a whole verse. Ukraine lose to Sweden 3-1, and Pooch's guy Jokeris has a hat trick.
Yeah.
Were you really excited about this? Was it really cool?
It was cool to see him get a hat trick.
So you were rooting against your friend Harubi, who's a proud Ukrainian.
Well, I was rooting to be right, because if you remember on our predictions, I had Sweden and you had Ukraine. So I
correct. Support my friends. I support
Harubi.
Didn't even back his nation, by the way.
I went to a game. I saw them play live. I backed them there.
You probably rooted against them.
I didn't.
You probably bet against them. Did they win?
I didn't. I couldn't bet in Germany.
So you would have bet against them, but you couldn't.
They drew. No, I would have bet for Ukraine. Are you kidding me? The atmosphere is awesome there. Those fans are incredible. Top 5 fan base in the whole world.
Fair enough. Well, it sucks that they won't be coming to the World Cup then.
I know.
But we lost some good fan bases, by the way, in this qualifying. Like you just said, we lost the Ukrainians. We lost the Irish. That sucks.
Yeah. The real Irish.
Right. I mean, we are used to the Irish in this part of the country.
Yeah.
I mean, we have Owen.
The Romanians. We lost the Romanians. Good fan base.
Wales.
Albanians. Good fan base. Wales have a good fan base.
Yeah. Wales, by the way, fall. Pushas ruined it to Bosnia and Herzegovina. Yeah, I got the joke now. In penalties.
See, now you get why I said it originally.
Such a clown, man. This whole podcast. Yeah, this is tragic. Brendan Johnson missed a penalty. I think, is it Nico? Is that how you say his name?
Neko?
Yeah, it's definitely Nico though, right? He just spells it weird.
Yeah.
I
think
missed a
so,
penalty.
yeah.
Good for Bosnia. We're gonna have, based on what this is looking like, we're gonna have a decent amount of Baltic countries in the World Cup potentially. So that's really exciting. Good for them.
Yeah. The next round for anybody, we'll talk about it on Monday too, because the next round is Tuesday. But it is Bosnia versus Italy.
Okay.
Early thoughts. That's a trap for Italy.
That is a trap.
Czechia versus Denmark. I think Denmark will probably pull through because Czechia just had to go 9 rounds with the Irish Rocky.
Yeah.
Turkey, Kosovo, I think Turkey cruises. And then Sweden, Poland should be a really interesting matchup. I didn't like how Poland played in the first half of this game.
Yeah.
They obviously came back and won kind of on the back of one of the GOATs, Lewandowski. But Sweden shouldn't have even been in this spot. They really did horrendous in the qualifying. And the only reason they're even in this qualifying round is because of Nations League. So the fact that they got this second chance, they need to make the most of it. So that'll be an interesting one as well.
100%. We will give those predictions, official predictions, Monday's show. But we did have some other games. Pooch, Bolivia versus Suriname. That happened today. Thoughts?
My thoughts are, let me look to see who won. Bolivia 2-1.
Okay. How did they line up? They thought decent or
a 4-3-3.
Okay. Were you in agreement?
Of the 4-3-3, yes.
Okay. And then we had New Caledonia versus Owen's newfound nationality and team, Jamaica. I'm assuming Jamaica won. I have no idea.
They are playing, at the time we're talking about this right now, they're playing in 36 minutes.
Okay. Score?
0-0 right now.
Okay. Let's get a live bet on that, Owen. Let's put $200,000 on Jamaica.
And they're playing on FS1. So after we're done recording, if you want to stay up and watch that game, be my guest.
Maybe get us a report on that. That'd be sick.
If you don't think I've got the pregame on right now, then you
yeah, Owen's in the lab. But alrighty, I think with that being said, no games really this weekend. We're obviously looking forward. Alrighty, is there anything else that we have here before we move on to the interview with Mr. John Murphy?
This is an important detail here. A white guy is starting for Jamaica at the striker position right now.
Wow. That's like Pooch's dream. To be a white Jamaican guy.
Born in England, born in Leeds, starting for the Jamaican national team. So
I hate this guy. He
Who
plays
is
for Wrexham.
Yeah, he plays for Wrexham too.
Who is it?
And he's only 20, so we might have a Jamaican hero on our hands.
Ooh. Oh, you got to get the kit.
Bailey Calamari.
What?
Cadamarteri.
This dude isn't Italian?
I know. I was shocked.
All right. Well, good stuff there. Owen, good investigative work there. We appreciate it. Let's get into this interview with John Murphy. Alrighty, guys. We are super excited here. Our first pro player interview in the building. The man, the myth, the legend, John Murphy Jr., Johnny Football. Johnny came up through PDA Academy here in Jersey. From there, he spent some time at Red Bull 2, spent one season, I believe, over at Clemson, and then since then has been in the USL League One, bouncing around Loudoun United, Union Omaha. I think you won USL League One championship with them there in your first season, so good stuff. We got a champion on the pod. That's actually pretty impressive for us. You might be the first champion of anything on the pod for us.
I'll take it.
Well, Ethan, you won a men's summer league that one year.
That is true. That is close enough. After RBNY2, he moved on to South Georgia Tormenta, headed over to Forward Madison the past 2 years, and now he has just signed for One Knoxville Soccer Club down in Knoxville, Tennessee. Quick clap here for John. Welcome to the pod, John. Thank you for joining.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me, boys.
Yes, sir. Super excited to get into it. And yeah, I mean, first things first here, John. Let's get into it. So you guys are starting hot here in Knoxville. I've been keeping an eye on it. First 2 games of the season for you. You scored them both. Just talk me through it. Signing for Knoxville, getting started there, starting off hot too, scoring against Ford Madison. I saw the Salah.
Might have backfired, but no. So it's been good. Yeah, I signed for them this offseason. I pretty much was out of contract with Madison, so I was just kind of feeling out offers and stuff, and came across Knoxville. They just won the league last year, and I had a great convo with the coaches and stuff. So came down here, and then yeah, honestly, they kind of threw me into a bit of a different position. Like preseason, I was playing more in the midfield. Last few years, I've been playing pretty deep as a holding position. And I kind of just started on like we just personnel wise, we just needed someone to play the position. So we had our first match in Westchester. So I was more of like a inverted left winger, you could call it, which was new to me for sure. So I just got myself closer to the goal, which was nice, and then ended up getting on the end of two kind of rebound situations where I was just right place, right time, and was happy to get my first 2 goals.
There we go. I love to see it. He's a little bit like a Scotty McTominay there. You know,
Yeah,
moving from
I'll
the
take
back
that.
up top. He's a goal scorer. For those that don't know, John's a big Man United fan, so got to be loving life too with Carrick, huh?
Honestly, keep Carrick at the wheel. If we make Champions League, keep him at the wheel.
That is definitely a question that me and Pooch talk about weekly. When Carrick first came in, I mean, I'm a Barca fan first and foremost, but I like Spurs in the Prem. And I was like, see, that's what you got to do. You got to bring a manager like Carrick, let him cook. Said, what does he got to do to keep? Yeah, he's made the game simple. You know, it feels like he has.
Yeah.
Awesome there. Yeah, so I mean, John, tell me a little bit too, right? So for those that don't know, legend from Scotch Plains, fan with the whole Murphy family, I would say, from top to bottom. James, his older brother. I remember when we were a little bit younger, going to watch him at the high school. John came back our junior year. I think we were like number 3 in the country that year.
Yeah, something like that to start the season, yeah.
Ridiculous. A bunch of the PDA boys came back and unfortunately lost in the final there, state final, which may be a robbery.
Yeah, could have. Up for debate still.
Up for debate. We have video evidence, but it's okay. Yeah. We leave it in the past.
For sure.
And then through there, John, right, came up through the PDA Academy system. I had some questions there. I mean, now watching, and I know you represent the U.S. at the youth level, had to play with a ton of ballers. A lot of these guys probably in their prime. Like, tell me, who are probably some of the better players you played with? Who do we expect to see at the World Cup? Who are your guys?
Yeah, so I mean, I'll just track back a little bit. I started with PDA because my dad coached there.
Yep.
When I was growing up. So, and I have an older brother and a little brother, both 2 years apart each way. So we just pretty much grew up on the sideline over there at PDA, and we were just kicking the crap out of each other and running around. And like, I don't know if you've been there, Ethan, but it's a bunch of fields it's a bunch of fields. So we were just having the time of our lives running around, playing on any empty goal we could get to. And then I played with Scotch Plains for a few years with a lot of the guys you know. Yep. And then as soon as travel became a thing, probably like maybe 8 or 9, I went up to PDA to play for them. I love playing all sports, honestly, too, but it was just so time consuming at that level. So ended up by high school, I stuck with soccer and then stayed at PDA. I played a few guest tournaments with Red Bull at the time. Like I went to Austria with them, went to Dallas probably around like 15 for GA Cup with them. But I just loved playing at PDA. It was like a great club. All my closest friends were there. Red Bull was kind of like a rival at the time. We were like still competing with them, and it was such a competitive region. And then they implemented this rule where like you can't play high school and academy at the same time. It was U.S. Development Academy, which, as you guys know from Scotch Plains, the 2 Scotch Plains boys, like we had such an exciting high school team all the time. And like from the time my older brother was there till the time my little brother graduated, there was so many good players and like a lot of guys that had to opt for academy over high school and then vice versa. Like I know some guys like Joe Bianco and Jassim and these guys like took a year off every once in a while. Like so I think maybe Jazzy got 2 years in, Joe got 3 years, my older brother played 2, me and Tommy played like 1 each, the Murphys. So I'm sure if we got a collection of all of us at one time, it would have been pretty unreal. But we just had like such great fan base and stuff too, so it made playing high school so much fun. And then, which makes me realize now, like the more places I've been and the more guys I've played with, like it seems so normal for us, all those games and like going to play the rivalries versus Westfield and Elizabeth and stuff. But I think we had it so good over there, like with our fans and just how exciting it was. So I ended up getting come back my junior year. I got a waiver to play both pretty much.
Okay.
And then I ended up going to a national team, probably might have been my last one. I went to a national team camp during that season, during the high school season. And the first like portion of the camp, the first few days was in IMG in Florida.
Yep.
And then we pretty much went to fly to St. Louis to do like a Josh Sargent testimonial where he was like going overseas and we played against like his youth academies also. It was like our U16 national team versus like St. Louis United's. It was like a Chicharito situation. I think he played like half with each team. It was crazy. So I went there for that, which was so cool. It was like him. Who else do we have? I think Brendan Aronson was there. Tim Weah, all these guys. Like the 2000s was such a strong age group. A few of the guys that were probably some of the best I played against might not even be playing anymore. I mean, Brendan I competed against since I was like 12.
Okay.
So I've known him for such a long time. And then Sargent I still talk to from time to time. There's so many guys that like bounce around the USL right now too.
Yep.
Or a few still in like the MLS and stuff. But this kid Andrew Carlton, he was like a U17 World Cup throwback kid.
Yeah.
He was actually unreal at the time, so playing against him was always tough. And then he had a teammate, Chris Goslin, who was a midfielder. I'm actually not quite sure whether he's still playing or not, but like those two, I always played against them at national team camps, and then we ended up getting them in the group stage of our playoffs for
Okay.
PDA when they were with Atlanta, and it was just like, they were so sick. We ended up losing like 3-2 or something, so I always say those two guys, but I mean, I'm not even thinking of some right now, but I could probably just keep going down the list.
Yeah, it's like when the Prem players, they're talking about like Moussa Dembele. You know, people are like, you played against Eden Hazard, you played against, it's like, nah, Moussa Dembele was the baddest, man. It's like Andrew Carlton, you know?
Dude, 100%. It's like a random one. And then the training, too, it's like a joke. Some of the stuff you don't see, but I had a friend that played with Dembele and says the same thing. He said he was an absolute joke.
That's sick. Yeah, no, it's always funny when you have some of these Prem greats. I mean, they'll be sitting in an interview, they played against Hazard, Henry, whoever, right? You name it. And then they're like, yeah, man, Moussa Dembele, man, and that Spurs midfield, you just couldn't get the ball off him. So
Crazy. Sometimes they just don't pan out. It's so wild.
yeah, that's awesome though. And I remember when you were going to those US camps and even thinking back now, seeing some of the guys like you used to tag in pictures and like now being like, oh shit, that guy's like playing in the US squad, you know? So I must have been sick and following their development, but there's also probably a ton of ballers that probably just never panned out, you know, guys that just fucked up their knee, whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. Some of even my teammates from like PDA and just youth days that, you know, they went to college and fizzled out are just like so much talent.
100%. And I mean, I know you went on trial a couple of times, obviously with the US or you went to the US camps. If I'm not mistaken, did you also go on trial to United at one point?
Yeah. So that was like while I was deciding whether to play high school or not. And then it was like one of my coaches had a connection over there or something.
Okay.
And I mean, I was obviously a huge fan. So
Right.
whether I was going to make the team or not, I was just like buzzing to get over there. And that was the summer before I played high school. So I think I came back. I think I missed a few preseason games because I was like training with United U18s, and I came back and played against like Plainfield in the first game. So it was crazy. It was like the time when Ibra had just signed and Pogba just came back too.
Yeah.
So like I got to see those guys like in the same hallway, almost and
Nuts.
like that's starstruck. Like I don't get starstruck about a lot of like maybe other things, but like I saw Wayne Rooney, not even very close, but I saw him like 200 yards away on the
Yeah.
training pitch, like on the first team pitch, and I was just like, this is insane, because these guys are like my favorite players of all
Right.
time. So I got to like shake hands with Pogba. I saw their first game, so that was my first Old Trafford experience.
Oh man.
Rooney was still playing, who's like my all-time favorite, so it was one of the most incredible experiences for sure.
Yeah, just quick backstory on Waza there real quick is last week we did a bracket. So we do something during March Madness called Bracketology. We just put together random brackets, footy players, teams. Last week was Degenerates. And the final was Maradona versus Waza. And he was the 8th seed. He went deep. We will let the fans decide who wins that one. But I took his side. I said Maradona was doing it in the 80s. Everyone was doing it in the 80s. Waza was doing it in 2000. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's harder to keep that going for Rooney. Maybe he deserves more respect because it was harder to do.
That's what I'm saying right there. I
He
mean,
was an 8 seed too. He was originally an 8 seed, and
Yeah, once you
kept
look
going
deeper
through.
into it, he's a wild guy.
he took down Luis Suarez, the 1 seed. We only did 16 guys. He took down Luis Suarez because we were like, he's not really a degenerate. He's just kind of an asshole.
Different type of.
Unfortunately,
degenerate, I guess.
Paulo Di Canio, the fascist, made it a little further than we wanted in the bracket. We did not like that, but it was between him and I think, what was it? Who was the guy? The dickhead.
What's his name?
Of course, this is bad. This is good podcasting. The dickhead from Twitter. He's like,
No, I know. He who threw elbow. Oh, Joey Barton.
Joey Barton.
Yeah.
it was the fascist or like
He's
the
up
horrible
there.
dude on Twitter. So
Yeah.
unfortunately, we picked our alliance, I guess, in that one. Short one. But Pooch, I think you had a question here for Murph.
Yeah. Who would you say was a tougher opponent after, like, when you were trialing with Man United? Was it the Man United under 18s or Plainfield?
Plainfield gave us a run for our money that day, but I think it would definitely be the U18s. I'm trying to think of some guys like there was like Angel Gomez,
Yep.
Tahith Chong, this guy George Tanner I remembered was pretty unreal. Who else? James Garner.
Yeah.
Guys like that. So yeah, maybe United would win on that day. But Plainfield had heart.
Plainfield had hard. I love it. I don't know if Plainfields could do it on. I don't know if the United U18s could do it on Plainfield's field.
They might not, dude. It's a tough field to play on, if you know.
I remember. I think it was freshman year footy. We bus over to Plainfield and we had like a armed little like guard that came and take us on and off the bus, and I was like, "Where the hell are we?" We went like 5 minutes down the road, and you know their ultras were pretty serious there, so
Yeah.
you always got to be careful.
Mud patch in the middle of Tennessee.
Yeah, all of a sudden you roll your ankle, your season's over because someone.
Union County's a grind.
It is a grind of a tournament, man. That's for sure. And those high school years, I mean, it was crazy. We won't get too much into high school footy. We've obviously been playing pro footy, so we're not going to harp on it. But when it does
Those
come,
are some of my favorite days, though.
well, I was going to say, I mean, at the end of the day, you probably have had some harder experiences. Like, no matter how good Scotch Plains is, no matter how good Westfield is, you knew that game was going to be a match. Like, it didn't matter if they were the worst team in the state. Like, it was going to be a match. There was just something more. And, you know, I think we hear it a lot with like NFL players when they're talking about college sports, like, you know, when they played college football or high school football, sometimes like there's more passion in that, you know,
For
like
sure.
you
Yeah.
go out on the weekend and someone tells you, oh, that's your rival. That doesn't feel the same as like you growing up in Westfield, going to the game, seeing your brother play, seeing, you know, the lore.
Yeah,
that
like
kind of,
actually growing it like within you, like an actual dislike for that town. Yeah, it's definitely true because, like you said, like these rivalries have been around like 100 years too. It's like a high school, you know, or it's like a
Yep.
college. Where like USL is pretty new. Like
Yep.
definitely we have some like local rivalries and stuff like that, but it just hits a little different, especially like it's in front of you. You can go to school the next day. It's in
100%.
front of like your family and your friends and stuff. And then you have like the neutral sites, and then the entire school is getting on a train. Where the first stop from Scotch Plains to Union is Westfield.
Westfield, yep.
So then they're all getting on the train, and it's just like, you know, it's a little bit like Europe in that sense,
Yep.
like very discreetly, but it'd be hilarious, you know. And then you have like Westfield on this side, Scotch Plains on this side, and you know, blue outs and blackouts, and I mean, I probably played in front of like a 2,000 fan high school game before, you know, which you don't hear a lot. So
It was nuts. I mean, I remember when your brother was there. We weren't in high school yet, but I remember he hit the free kick against Westfield in the UK.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that's like one of my favorite videos. My dad took me to that game. I remember it was a big deal. It was, you know, Union County final over at Kane. And then I remember when we were at high school, like freshman year, that this team was sick, and they used to like blue powder in the air and like the whole thing, the chants, the songs. And then I remember that junior year, we obviously had high expectations. And I remember those games, like it just didn't matter. We were number 3 in the country, number 5, whatever the number was, it didn't matter. Like you'd be like, hey, Westfield's a decent team. When you went to Westfield, like you had to like kind of watch your back. And these are two like white preppy towns. And you're like, it's literally like ultras. Like John said, we get on the train to go to
People are just fighting each other. Like
there was like cops getting hit, man. It's like, dude, this is U17 soccer right now in Jersey, right? Like everyone take a chill pill, but it was awesome. And it really was like, it builds such a passionate fan base that like, you know, it's one of those things when I still meet someone from Westfield, there's still a little bit of in me where I'm like,
for sure. Yeah, I have like little cousins playing for Scotch Plains and stuff now
Yeah.
too, like rec basketball, and they had a live stream. I was watching like the Clark tournament final for like 10-year-olds the other day. My aunt's like, if you're bored, Stevie's game's being streamed. I'm like, oh, why not? And then even in the semis, we played against Kearney,
Yes.
who's another. So our semifinal game was against Kearney, who's like at a neutral site somewhere in like who knows, Somerville or something.
Yeah.
There's like a couple hundred people from each school, and they're chanting and screaming. And Kearney's obviously a big soccer town in New Jersey as well. So
Yep.
those are the games and like the nights that I remember, and we talk about all the time when I see the guys that we used to play with.
I remember just going back to that Carnegie. That was something I meant to bring up. I remember it was like they were talking shit to you on Twitter before the game, like weeks leading up. They were like, I don't know, they were just talking whatever. And then what did we beat them in like extra time?
Yeah, we won in overtime.
And one of the guys, I can't remember who it was. I can't remember if it was Halma or one of them posted, maybe not Halma. He's probably graduated. Somebody, there's a picture of the team going to celebrate the goal with our side. And one guy, maybe it was Corey, I don't know, is celebrating in front of theirs like this. In 2017, that was the hardest picture of all time. I almost made that my wallpaper, and I knew the kid.
So much fun, dude. I think they were just chanting at me like the whole game too. Just like F John Murphy is just overrated.
Yeah.
So once we scored, I think it was Peterson that scored. I just crazy, dude. And then after the game was even worse because I was like, giving it to their fans a little bit, and I never thought like that's probably to this day the most my Twitter notification was at. Like people like, I'm gonna come jump you, like watch your back, like I know where you're at. I have friends over there. I'm like, shit.
Luckily, John lived like a block away from the high school, so he didn't have to worry about a long walk.
All right.
That was awesome. Those were good days, and I mean, at the end of the day, I'm Spaniard, so there was always going to be a soccer fandom in me. But I think if I didn't go to Scotch Plains, I think if I didn't live in this area, maybe it would have died off a little bit. Mm-hmm. But because of that, like you watch what goes on in Europe and what we were doing at the high school, like week in and week out. And I remember there was a game that you guys scored, and maybe it was against us. So you come jumping in, a couple of you guys come jumping into the bleach. Like it was literally like watching, like, I don't know. And I'm not saying, anything about the championship in England, but it felt like the Dini, where he comes jumping in, like the passion.
Players are in the stands and
nuts. It was a great time. We tore down the fence in Westfield, the fence on the side of the field. Like they tore it down it was like,
remember that.
No one cared about the football games. It was just about soccer. So those are some of my, just as a fan too. I mean, maybe I'm glazing. I don't know. Those are some of my favorite memories. A great time. And it was like always so much fun on a Saturday getting out there and, back in the day, maybe sneaking a little vodka in a water bottle.
A little bit.
Just a little bit. Yeah. John probably had some on the sideline. No big deal. Casual. But let's get into your pro career. I mean, we could talk high school ball all day, but let's get into your pro career. So obviously spent a little bit of time at RB2, right? That's where you played against James. Is that correct?
Yeah, the first time. Yes.
That was awesome. So again, another one I remember there because it was a big deal. The Murphy brothers are playing. Where was James at that point?
When I played him, he was at Monterey Bay FC in the championship. Right. So out in California.
Yeah. So I remember that. So it was a big deal. Everyone packed into Derby. We actually have jerseys for our men's league team, and Derby sponsored it. So your jersey's up on the wall, and mine's going to go up on the wall too. Don't worry. Similar accomplishment. But I remember
just real quick. Our men's league team lost maybe one game over 2 years, and then last year we finished second. So when Ethan says one day, it might be a while. Yeah. It might be a while.
We're trying, man. I'm recruiting. I got some of the Scotch Plains boys, and now we're just branching out. Now it's like a full recruitment effort.
Yeah.
If you're in town, I have what number you want?
I can hop in.
There you go.
Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. He doesn't even see Pooch. He could take your 29. That's fine.
Well, that's fine. I'll just make it look bad.
Pooch dislocated his shoulder early last year. He's our glue guy.
Not just dislocated. I also tore my labrum.
Oh, that's the worst.
That's why I'm in the sling. I had surgery like 3 weeks ago. So.
He tore it. I think we started this podcast. The first episode went like right after he tore it in October, and he was like, "I'll be back in like a month." We're like, "All right, cool." He's not back.
He's still in the sling.
Yeah, it's one of those mystery injuries, like Decky Kulisevsky for Spurs. Like no one knows if he's ever going to play again, but he's handling.
Dude.
Yeah, it's a tough life, man. I mean. I'm a Barca fan. I always say that first.
Yeah, just claim that.
Yeah, just always going to rep that. But, so, I mean, going back to that game against James, what was it like? Right? Obviously getting to play against your brother. He then gets a red in the game.
I forgot about that. So it was great. Like my whole family flew out, like my sister, my brother, parents, my aunt, and I think we probably West Coast games. You probably go a day early, so we were just out there. It's like a beautiful area,
Yeah.
and they came out, and we were excited. Like we were struggling that year a little bit. We were just so young. It was also Red Bull 2's last year in championship before the whole like next pro came into
Right.
play. But we started well. Like it was a good game. It's going well. Both teams are playing. I think it's 0-0 up until half, but I could be wrong. But like 40 minutes in, my buddy Jeremy takes a big touch down the line, and my brother just like thought he was gonna get there, and he comes flying through. And it was one of those where like it was like he took a big touch and then knew he was gonna get fouled type of thing.
Yeah.
And to this day, we're always debating. My little brother James will be like, it just wasn't a red. Like I was just trying to stop the attack, blah blah. And my buddy Jeremy Raffanello, he's actually on Philly Union now. So we could joke about it now, but we're always like, yeah, it wasn't a red. Jeremy just left on crutches, but clean like give him a yellow because I think he was out for like 2 months after that tackle. But anyway, we ended up losing like 2-1 maybe. But the funniest thing is my dad's in the crowd. They did something at halftime like about how we're playing against each other. And so they knew my parents were at the game. And the tackle happens, and then like I think he gets a red. He's arguing. They just pan to my family in the crowd, and my dad's like this, with his face in his hands, just like this. And like my brother Owen is just like shocked at the screen. So it ends up being a great trip. I think I stayed an extra day and stuff. And like
Nice.
I said, he got the win, and he got a red and a win. So he like lost and won, but I just lost. So
I remember watching I think I was maybe watching the game live. I don't even remember, but I do remember watching the clip back, and it was funny because you didn't know where to go. So half your team goes to attack James, you go to defend your brother, and then you're like, wait, low key though, maybe I shouldn't. I could see you kind of like pulling everyone away from him, but also being like, low key, fuck you too, you know?
Yeah. No, it's funny. I was in the moment because James is always like, oh, you're such an ass. Because you were yelling at the ref. Because like that first when the tackle happened, I was like, just naturally, I was like, oh, ref, like that's terrible. That's horrible. No room for that in this game. And then like my whole team's running at him. I got like my 6'5" center backs got him by the shirt. So I was like, oh wait, that's James. So I'm like trying to separate him a little bit. I was like, just let him take the red. You don't have to kill him.
Yeah, fair enough.
But it was funny, right? I was like in two minds. I was like, oh wait, what's going on?
It was hilarious. I mean, and quick story there that as we were prepping for this interview, I was just looking back to just growing up. And I remember one time I was playing in your backyard, and I think it was maybe just like me, you and your brother came out. Maybe your dad came out too. I'm not sure. But when I knew the Murphy brothers were different was when we were just trying to play like a little pickup, and they were doing full 50-50s. But like one of them backed out, and I think your dad came out and was like, what the fuck was that? He's like, go back in. And then you just ran at each other and went another 50-50. And I was just like, oh, shit. I was like,
whoa.
Yeah, I'm good here. I'm good. Like, you guys do your thing. I was like 9 years old, man. I didn't even know what a 50-50 was.
I think my dad got a house with a big backyard, like just for that. He didn't care about the house. He didn't care about what it looked like. He just wanted to have a big backyard. But that's so funny you say that because me and my brother joke to this day. Like, we had a game where we just leave the ball in the middle of the field and just both start like 20 yards away. And like whoever wins the ball or whoever like fouls the best would get a point or something like that. It was the most ridiculous game. And we would go to that like soccer post over there, Ethan on 22, and get some like yellow and red cards from Quick Goal or whatever.
Yeah.
A red card was a point. It was so ridiculous. Yeah.
Me and my brother did something similar. It was just my brother's 4 years younger than me, so I kind of had a little bit of a mental one up on him. Maybe not nowadays, but back then. Ben. Yeah, he would. We'd be in the living room watching TV, and I'd be like, "Are we gonna play a game? Let's see who if you can flop well." So he'd run around. I would just kick the shit out of his legs and trip him, and I would rank it based on yellow or red card and what I would give him. So same idea, except I never got kicked.
Yeah, you were just bullying him.
Yeah, I was just John. I was making him tougher. All right,
exactly. I agree. Tough love.
He was the youngest in his group, and he played middle linebacker. So I'm like, I take all credit for that. Everyone's like, oh, he's a tough kid. I'm like, oh, I wonder why. So
I'm the reason.
100%. But just funny stuff. And I just was again remembering that a game against your brother, and must have been just sick for the family, especially your parents. Like being able to see you guys play at a high level against each other, competitive. Must have been very, very cool.
Yeah, honestly, it really was. It was one of the cooler moments in the pro career so far.
100%. Pooch, you got one here from Murph?
Yeah, I do. Continue on the trend of USL. Who would you say is the toughest team that you've played kind of so far throughout your career? And then a quick follow up to when you answer, why is it Hartford Athletic?
Hartford Athletic. No, I actually cannot say it as them. It would not be Hartford. I apologize if you have a connection to them.
I
But
don't.
no,
Zero connection.
there was a time, man, who was the better teams? It's always like the toughest ones, especially on the road, is like Louisville. We played them
Mm,
again this preseason. There in the championship. I played them with Red Bull. So well, I actually started with Red Bull. My after my junior year with high school, I finally made the switch to Red Bull's academy. So I ended up taking my senior year online, and then I was training with the second team. It was called like an academy contract, so I was eligible for
hmm
games and stuff, and practices with them every morning. That's why I was in school online. So I traveled with them like all the time. I was always on the
Yeah.
bench. I probably made 2 appearances before going to college even. I just wasn't getting paid, so that's why like I kept eligibility. Not that it matters now, which is crazy, but um, yeah. So we used to play against. There was a team. Galaxy Two was still around, so it was like Los Dos, and they were always really good. And then now it'd be like I would say Louisville. Once I returned to Red Bull, it was a few years later as like a sign guy. Louisville popped us pretty good at their place. The Tampa Bay Rowdies are always tough.
Yep.
Phoenix away. That's one of the more fun ones,
Mm.
but probably one of the harder games as well.
Totally makes sense there.
Yeah.
Have
Yeah.
you played at what's the place? Colorado Springs Switchbacks? Have you
I have
played
not
there?
played at their place actually. No.
Okay, because I went to Colorado a few years back and I saw their stadium and I was like, this is they have like a galaxy on the outside, like a
I know. It's pretty
planet. Like
interesting.
it's an interesting stadium.
Yeah, they get a good
So
crowd out there though.
yeah, I feel
They
like
have
a
a good
lot of
support.
the would you say it's more West Coast teams that have the better crowds for USL, or would it be it's kind of even throughout? Because like you just mentioned there were a couple kind of Western teams in there, and I'm guessing that maybe just demographically, I feel like the West Coast is probably maybe a little bit more into soccer in general. Northeast I consider kind of soccer, and then West Coast. So would you say the West Coast is kind of like a powerhouse in terms of fandom for USL or even MLS in general?
I think it definitely varies, but I think that probably you're right in the sense of like Northeast would be probably similar to West Coast. So it varies.
Hmm
Like there's both, but a lot of the California teams, and it was the same growing up. Honestly, it was like all the best players were from Texas, Cali,
hmm
Northeast areas. I would say. Um, so like you'll go to Texas teams and they'll be into it, have a lot of fans. Also, I've tended to play like on the East for the most part. So especially when I was in the championship, you'd only get that might be why I'm naming some of these like Phoenix because like you only get to go over there so often because you play everyone home and away on the East and then you go away for a few trips. So it was always fun to get a West Coast game. Also, they were just really good, but I find that yeah, like some of the California teams, Northeast teams, like even in our league, Maine just had a team for the first year, the
Yep.
Portland Hearts of Maine, and their support was like unbelievable. So I think it varies, but I think there's definitely regions where places people are more interested in the sport for
hmm
sure.
Probably has to
hmm
do as well too, right? Where they don't have pro sports. So like Portland,
Right.
Maine, you said has nothing, right? So I know like that's a
No, hundred
big
percent
minor league baseball sit, like the whole thing. I think Rhode Island maybe just got a
Rhode
team.
Island. Yep, they have a great stadium, good fans.
Yeah, it's like similar to college sports, like where
Yeah,
Louisville, for instance, like Louisville basketball is huge because they don't have anything else. So I maybe a correlation there.
for sure. I think it's a lot like that in a lot like even here they just love their University of Tennessee. Like in
Yeah,
cities where teams like don't have pro teams, they either love their college team or you'll find like a USL team or like you said a minor league baseball or something random that they just get like super into.
100%. What's life been like for you out there in Knoxville? You been enjoying it?
Yeah, it's been decent so far. The first bit of preseason was tough just because it was
Yeah,
preseason, so I wasn't getting out much. But the weather's starting to become beautiful, so I've just been outside. It's really nice. It's better than I thought so far. Definitely like the college is right here. I went to a basketball game, which was pretty dope.
nice.
Um, there's the river, like just some decent restaurants. So I'm still getting used to it, but it's been good so far.
My guy Lamine Yamal is going to be there for the World Cup. So you getting it ready for him? You're making sure Knoxville
I know, he's right down the road, dude. It's crazy. I played in Chattanooga like 3 times this year.
That's funny. Yeah, it was hilarious when I saw that that's where they picked his base camp. I know they just pick where, based on where his location, but I was like, you're putting the fucking Lamine Yamal in Chattanooga, Tennessee. No, hey, no disrespect to our Chattanooga listeners. We got a lot of them. No disrespect, but
Do you guys play Rocky Top before your games or no?
No, maybe we should.
I think you guys should. I
Yeah,
think you
I'll
guys
try to
should-
introduce that.
Yeah, have them do Rocky Top. Don't do neck. That would be a bad one. What's the other? Did you get on the Jumbotron when you went to the basketball game at Tennessee or no?
Oh, I did not. Their stadium was pretty cool though.
Okay, yeah. Next time you gotta make sure when you get in there to tell them like, hey, I need to be on the Jumbotron. Celebrities are here tonight.
Oh, like a courtside at the Knicks type of thing?
There you
Yeah.
All right, I got you.
Yeah.
let's real quick here. I think good transition too, just talking celebrities. And so Pooch is always, I don't know if you've ever seen the video of Neymar where he was with a little kid in the hospital and he did the celebration that the kid asked him to do when he scored. So Pooch has been like asking me all week. He's like, do you think John will do my celebration? Do you think John will do my celebration if we ask? So Pooch has prepared a celebration for you. I was wondering if there's any chance on the next goal you do it for Pooch and just show like some, I mean, look at his shoulder. He clearly can,
I'll 100% consider it if I just do the celebration first.
Pooch, what do you got for him?
Real quick, John, I'm gonna use one of my timeouts. Ethan brought this up 5 minutes beforehand. I have not been begging all week.
He needs the full 30.
Yeah, I need the full 30 here. He told me 5 minutes before, hey, we're gonna do some sort of like Make-A-Wish thing where like you ask for a celebration. And I was like, okay, but don't put it that way. And he did. Anyway, celebration, I think that would be sick, is if you take an arrow out and like
The little bow and arrow?
Yeah,
I can do that one. Like a little
at the
Cavani-
goalkeeper though.
little
At the
Cavani
goal.
action.
Stand over
Yeah,
him.
at the goalkeeper.
Oh, just literally as he dove, just like.
Yeah.
All right, well that depends on if I'm on a yellow or not. But if I'm
Okay,
not,
yeah.
John's going to score a tap in. And he's going to start hitting with a bow and arrow from 3 feet
Yeah,
away.
it's just like it's a laser beam, and I like scuffed one in from 6 yards.
It's all right. John's had some good sellies. I remember one of the high school videos again. Everything comes back to high school footy here. I think there's one where you did like a cartwheel and a flip.
Yeah, that one felt so good when it came off, and then I watched the video back. Yeah, it wasn't great. Gotta get the feet straight. I think the gymnast would tell me.
Yeah. You gotta have proper form there. I mentioned, I think maybe you scored when you jumped into the crowd. That's always a good one. That's always a go-to.
I think I jumped in like how the linemen do?
Yeah.
I got a little boost from that front row and just ended up over the fence. They were about to kick off, and I'm still trying to get back over.
And then, so real quick, I know we touched on it earlier, the forward Madison celebration. You score, you were running over to the gaffer. I don't know. I'm just leaving it out there. Was there a message there? Was it just you were really excited?
No. I mean, I was definitely excited, but I have love for everyone at Forward Madison. It was kind
Of
of
course.
a mutual thing. So funny story, they don't have any, they have one returning player from who I played with.
Interesting.
So it wasn't that thing. It was more of just like a new home, new boss, just getting excited.
100. It just happened to be against Forward Madison. That's all.
Yeah. It wasn't planned from like the second I signed here at all.
Okay, good. I was going to say, I saw the video and I was like, huh. All right. Listen, man.
No, at their place, I would have more of. I love the fans. So
There you
all
go.
respect for the fans, but there wasn't many traveling mingos that day. So
The traveling mingos. The kids were fire. I'm going to be honest.
they were fine.
But it is what it is. Me and Pooch are actually going to be out in Madison this fall. We've been doing college football road trips. So we were at LSU this past fall. We're going to do Wisconsin, obviously up in Madison this upcoming fall. So super excited. We heard it's a fun city. So
Dude, it's a great time. I wish I was still out there. That would have been fun. But yeah, it's a great city. You guys will love it. Which football game are you going to?
I don't think we know exactly yet. We have one of our buddies getting married, like some different things we had to work around. And one of them's, James Sherry?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so Sherry was in our fraternity. He's from Scotch Plains. He's getting married, but he's a huge Packers fan. And he's coming with us, so we're going to try and, link him.
Yeah. I went to Lambeau last year. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, everyone wants to go in like October, November, which is going to be freezing. I really want to go in like September, but
Yeah, it's a good play.
yeah, I mean, I try and make some decent plays every now and then, but you know, you got to go with the group and you got to go with whatever's cheapest, right? But all good there. Yeah, so I mean, other than that, John, right? We're definitely going to get into Seton Hall Hoops. We're going to definitely talk a little United here with you. But before we kind of leave it, you know, we're going to put the career to the side. Before we get there, just tell me a little bit. Like, I know we've talked about Knoxville. Like, what's the goals going forward for the season? What are the lads thinking? Are we going on another title run? You know, what are the vibes right now?
Yeah, I mean, everyone that's come back from last year has been like so good at, you know, they celebrated already, but they're pretty focused on the new goals we have.
Yeah,
So I think that they just want that to be the standard here at this club now.
yeah,
And even the first couple of games, like against Madison, we ended up dropping points after a hot start. We got a good 3 points on the road, and then 2 nights ago we played at home again, and it was just like a 0-0 draw. Where I thought we actually played great, but just couldn't score. You know, they were playing for the tie a bit, and that's just how it goes sometimes. But
yeah.
yeah, the goals are high. Like we want to keep advancing in the Open Cup. We have a game against Asheville City Tuesday night. There's the Jägermeister Cup, which I think has a new name now, which is like
Okay.
the USL. You know, it's I don't know if you
Yeah,
guys are aware, but it's just all the USL leagues in one
sure.
tournament. So we want to go as far and everything as we can, and then, like you said, obviously, hopefully finish at the top of the table. But once we get around playoff time, definitely make a run. So that's what I'm hoping for. It seems like a lot of these guys that are returning are hoping to go back to back. No one's done it, so someone's got to do it.
There you go. I like that. I like the someone's got to do it.
Yeah.
That's awesome to hear here. And again, I'll leave it here and we'll get into a little bit more fun too. So obviously you got a lot of life in the legs. You got a long term here. What's kind of long term? Are we going to end up here in Westchester, Garfield, one of these clubs, or maybe the Cosmos one day? Is that a goal? Is that just if it happens, it happens?
Yeah, there's definitely. I mean, pretty young legs, but this is year 7.
I know.
Even though I'm 25, so the knees a couple years on turf make the knees ache a little bit. No, but I honestly I feel great. I'm gonna just finish out my contract here, see how it goes. I'm still ambitious to where I would love to move up if I
Of course.
can, get up to the championship, whatever it may be. And there's, like you said, a lot of more East Coast teams. Like for the first few years in League One,
Hmm.
after I left Red Bull, the closest was like Richmond, which really, you know,
Yeah.
it's not too easy of a drive for my parents and stuff. So I think to end closer to New Jersey would be awesome. I love it there. That's definitely still home for me.
Yeah.
Get back there every off season. So I've been kind of staying in the present as far as like those type of goals, but definitely want to move up, want to have success here. I think that will help me. You know, the team success will help the individual, in my opinion.
Yep.
So to get to the East Coast would be great, but whatever situation is best. And I think I'm at the point where I don't want to just like go anywhere for anything, but kind of be more
Strategic.
tactical, like, you know, strategic about it. But obviously, I have to put myself in a position to do that. So hopefully, keep playing well, have a good year, and then have some options.
For sure. And I mean, there's got to be a goal at some point, play with James, right? There's got to be a
I
Murphy
know,
link
dude.
up.
That would be. We've been playing against each other. Now you mention it. That would be pretty cool. So
I mean, you guys both play in a similar role. Who's better?
that's what I said. He's always like, dude, you gotta. I'm like, well, one of us is gonna sit if that's the case. You know? He's like, dude, come play. Where was he like? He's like, we need you in Indy. I'm like, well, if I come to Indy, I don't think I'm gonna play if you're playing. You know, one of those things. So
Well, I don't know. Do you,
maybe I'll just play. Maybe I'll just go to the left wing.
there you go. Left wing inverted, maybe like the Gavi under Xavi role or
I'll
Scotty.
just let him defend and just stay up high. You know.
Yeah, there you go. He does the dirty work. He gets the reds and you slide in. There you go. That's awesome. That's awesome. It's all good stuff there. And obviously we're wishing you guys the best and we'll be keeping an eye on Knoxville. Super happy to see how well you've been doing to start off there. And hopefully it keeps going. You got to keep scoring. It's fun, you know, and let's get to the hard hitting stuff here. I don't know. Do we start with Seton Hall Hoops or do we start United? Maybe we start Seton Hall Hoops.
Yeah, we'll end on a high. United, they fluctuate. Either one of them's making mistakes, or so. Yeah, I mean, promising though. Like
Yeah.
overall, good year. It's easy to forget about last year, but
Yep.
it's just because we want to forget about last year. But it was pretty bad. So you know, you have to think that. I mean, my expectations were really low going into this season.
Yep.
So I think it made it better that they exceeded. But then they did so well in the beginning of the year that my expectations went so high again. So then once they lost like 3 straight towards the end and weren't going to make the tournament, I was a little devastated. But they were fun.
Yeah, they were definitely, I mean, fun and frustrating. You know,
Yeah, very frustrating.
You got to love the way shot coaches, right? Pure defense.
I would say it's like it's lose by 30 or win by 2. there's no in between.
Horrible margin, by the way. The net score, the goal differential, horrific. But hey, as long as we got wins, we'll take that. But yeah, no, I mean, we obviously, I mean, especially me and Pooch when we were at Seton Hall. He's a year older than me, but he was still there throughout like the Miles Powell run. And that I was talking about that today, actually, funny enough, to a doctor, and we were just talking hoops and just looking back and like before NIL, which at the end of the day, it's good that we're compensating athletes. I'm with it, all that, but like there was something so special about a guy being there for 3 years, 4 years, and like building that team the way Willard would. And now it's, you know, we talk Najee Hines, the center actually from Plainfield. I don't think he was on the soccer field. He's like 7 foot. But a guy like Najee Hines, like awesome, super happy he killed it. Kind of pissed he killed it because he's about to get a bag from somewhere. Someone's going to throw him like $3 million.
100%.
Like,
yeah. After he's like, so my dad played soccer there for 4 years, so that's why I became such a fan. And we've been going to games since, you know, I can remember. And I went, like in the off season, there's always their first few games, and we went, and I'm just talking to my brothers. I was like, this kid's nasty. And we're all, at the same time, we're all like, he won't last more than a year.
Yeah.
We were like, he's a freshman, he's going to slim out, he's going to get better, and then someone else is going to pay him. Like, it's the same thing with Kadari. Like, and it's hard to blame the kid, but it pisses me off. But like, how are you going to turn down? He might never play in the NBA. Right. So how are you going to turn down this much money? Like, Miles Powell would have made millions in college and probably never touched an NBA floor. So it's hard to blame the kid. I just hate the system and how it is. And like, Shaw did well in the portal this year because he had to. You just have to adapt or die. But
yeah, 100%. Well,
I'm hoping the new practice facility helps out a bit, though.
It's quite nice. It looks quite nice.
Yeah, it looks nice. That was like a big thing always with Willard, was like, I can't recruit because these kids don't want to like go to a basement that's flooded. Because when we were there, when Ethan and I were there, it flooded. Like one year we had like a rainstorm that was maybe like a day, and it was like maybe an inch of rain. And the reports the next morning were like the basketball team had a practice in the rec center because the actual court, the practice court, got flooded out. So at least they improved that part of it.
I believe. I think one of you guys or all three of you, just get extremely rich with this pod and just start dumping boosters and NIL into the team.
There you go.
And just buying players off.
Well, the funny part here, John, is before you said that is the goal of this pod was actually we're trying to get athletes like yourself who are clearly very affluent. You know, you've had a long 7-year career in the USL. Like, we're actually looking to bring you into the booster. So if you're interested, me and Pooch, you know, he's 27, I'm 26. We're doing pods out of he actually lives on his own, but I'm in my mom's house. So like, our job is just to recruit, and then we get guys like you to help out. So
do the groundwork.
If you want to write a check, we can blank this. Owen, make sure you mute it when he gives me his credit card.
Yeah. Let me move up the league, like I said before. Start talking.
Yeah, well, it's funny. I'll get a call every now and then to Seton Hall. I'm like, Bet Shaw needs me. Pick it up. And it's, you know, some freshman out there, and she's like, hey, like, how was your experience at Seton Hall? I was like, it was pretty good. Enjoyed it, whatever. She's like, that's great. Like, you know, Coach Shaheen needs help, like, recruiting and blah, blah. I'm like, if you're calling me, we got a problem. Yeah. If you somehow found me as the most affluent, we got a big problem.
Definitely.
We tried to help in college, Ethan, but they gave us a cease and desist for it.
They did. We got a cease and desist. We in our fraternity.
Well, hold on. Not we. I got a cease and desist.
You got a cease and desist, but I was the recruitment chair, so I kind of had a hand in this. Pooch was the president. I was the recruitment chair of our fraternity, and we'd make rush shirts. Well, this was the year of like Miles Powell, so we made a Miles Powell themed shirt. We literally put Miles Powell on the shirt.
Yeah.
Not our best idea. And
financially, it was our best idea ever.
Sounds like a sick shirt.
Ethan, did you keep one?
I have. Maybe we could do a jersey swap with Murph. Maybe we could get him
that could be doable.
That might be possible. The long story short with that shirt is we put it together, and a couple of our guys were basketball team managers, and we're like, dude, it would be sick. Again, us not thinking why Miles would not want the shirt or like be kind of annoyed about it. We were like, can you ask Miles like if he'll wear it? Like, we'll give him one for free. Miles Powell, who drove a Mercedes-Benz on campus, does not need a free shirt from us. He looked at it and he was like, you guys are selling these? And I think the manager honestly was like, yeah. And he was like, okay. probably went up to, Brian Felt, the athletic director's office, and maybe within 5 seconds, there was a cease and desist. We had to recollect all the shirts. I don't even know what happened, but that was like literally right before COVID. So
There's got to be a few out there somewhere,
There is. I was individually tasked with making sure all of the shirts came back.
Collection
I
process.
had people to my face be like, I am not giving you this back. And I'm like, that's a fair point. Keep it. I don't care. And then a week later, we all went home for COVID. And I was like, I just had to wait it out a week and people would have been fine.
one of the best shirts. It was the bridge from Trenton, and it says like what Trenton makes, Fidel takes, something like that. And it's him with the outro. It is so tough. They got the deep
from Trenton.
Yeah, we got to get you one of those. But Seton Hall Hoops will be on the way back up. John and his family, I see them all the time at games when we go over there. I see Owen a lot, Browen.
Dude, Browen is not missing a game.
Yeah, 100%. I'll see him, and I'll see sometimes your pops and mom over there too. So
hey, he's in the area if you need a little defensive midfielder.
We might.
Yeah.
If he still has the legs, I'm happy. I just
Get him
can't.
up.
If he's got the Murphy trade and he's going to put tackles in like a motherfucker, I don't know if this is pickup men's league, man. I can't have him getting suspended. Like
Killing people. Nah.
Yeah, people go to work the next day, John. Like
Yeah.
our physio is Joe Dietz, man, and he's like he's on our team. He's our physio. The one time someone actually got really hurt, John actually walked up.
Miss B's assistant. He was always Miss B's assistant.
He was, and he's made a career out of it. So it's kind of funny how that works. You made a career out of footy. He made a career out of that. I made a career out of being a fan. So it's funny how that works. But let's jump in a little United here. So obviously a big United fan. I remember growing up. Again, you were one of the only dudes growing up that liked footy. This was like prime Rooney, Tevez, all those. I never disliked United. I was always a Barca guy, but I always remember being like, just always keep an eye on United. And through the years, it's kind of a little tough, but Carrick's at the wheel. Me and Pooch debate this all the time. I feel like Ole was done dirty. I feel like you got to let it ride out with Carrick. You can't make the same mistake twice. You got to give him like a longer leash and fund him, back him, the whole thing. We don't have a United fan on the pod, so I'm going to turn it to you. Pooch is an Arsenal fan. He's disgusting. I'm going to turn it to you, though, and let you... Sorry, Pooch. I love Pooch. I'm going to turn it to you, John. Let us know what you think about United and, Carrick.
I tend to agree with you about the Solskjaer thing. I'm sure you guys might listen to the overlap from time to time.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And they had Solskjaer on, and just like hearing all the behind the scenes and stuff, and just how tied his hands were, and like to his point, he was almost complaining about having Ronaldo put on him. But
Yeah.
if you really listen and deep it kind of makes sense. They just got a player who was like bigger than the club at the time. But anyway, he went on to win, right? They lost the Europa League final and then won one, or maybe won one with Mourinho, lost one with him.
Yeah.
I think he got at least an FA Cup. And like, you look at these teams like Tottenham and Arsenal, and you realize it's so hard to win trophies, even if you're at like the top.
Yeah.
Like finishing in second doesn't get you a trophy. So
Yep.
even when Mourinho, like I think they fired Mourinho too quickly.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I think the fact that like you have Carrick, you're winning. Like we were in 15th, I think, when Amarin got sacked.
Yep.
And it could have been just like last year when we were 16th and 17th, and just like people just kind of held a glimmer of hope because we made the final in the Europa League again and lost. So I think, and I was giving Amarin, like sometimes I'm like, okay, I was like, the players are playing so bad. Like at some point you got to stop firing coaches. Like you just don't have players, blah, blah, blah. But Amarin was so stubborn in his system, and then he's like benching Mainu, and like that's my type of guy, like a homegrown midfielder, like he's my type of player. So I'm like, this guy's gonna get Mainu sold. He already got McTominay sold. Like, how many of our own people are we just gonna give out to other teams and then they end up start balling? Like Anthony.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
I was like, wow. Okay.
I was gonna say.
I was like, fair enough.
But anyway, like it couldn't have been better. I think Carrick came in and it was the Manchester Derby, or maybe against Arsenal, one of the two.
Mm-hmm.
Won that. 2 weeks later, Manchester Derby, won that. So not only is he winning, but you're winning against like those two games go wrong against your biggest rivals, then you're still in 15th and not going anywhere.
Yep.
And now it's like comfortably in third. I mean, I think if he makes the champion, long story short, if he makes Champions League, you have to keep him. Because what's the point of going and getting another like tactical mastermind like Ten Hag or Amarin that are so stubborn in their system when like just bring the identity back. Just get the fans into it. That's half the battle. And then the wins come and you're playing like free-flowing counter-attacking again. It feels good.
Yeah, John, I'm totally with you there. And again, we won't talk Barca because right now we're cooking. But when it comes to Spurs, I think it's funny because of how similar Spurs and United are, especially being that Europa League final last year, and everyone thinking Spurs won, they're going to be on the better path.
Yeah.
And then Spurs, you bring in Thomas Frank, but the big issue is you don't back him, right? So you don't back him fully. You don't get him the players he needs. You give him kind of down tools, as they say, right? Never want to talk about a player like that, but you know what I mean? You give him players that maybe aren't up to the standard. Shit hits the fan. And Spurs probably should have sacked Frank earlier and gone after a guy like Carrick, right? Because he was doing well. It was obvious. United make the move instead. And at the end of the day, sometimes, and you know better than me, like I always say, and again, I'm a pep guy. I'm a tactico. I love all that shit. Sometimes there is something about just putting the players on the field in the best position and just being like, hey, guys, like you've been playing since you've been 4 years old. Just go get a result. You know, hey, you're going to be my wingers. You're my striker. Get in the box. Like, you don't need all this X and O bullshit all the time. You obviously need a little bit, but you know what I mean?
No, I agree. And I always say, like, Pep's an unbelievable coach, but not everyone has the players Pep has. You know,
Yeah.
like he's at Man City. He's at the best Barca teams of all time. Like,
Yep.
we have coaches, like, I always joke around here. It's like some coaches in even USL League One want to play like a 5-4-7-3-2 with inverted this and like exverted that. And I'm like, sometimes you just need to get into a 4-3-3 and just try to win a game.
Yeah.
You know, just like deal with what you have. And then, to be fair to Tottenham, their injury list is out of control.
Right.
So maybe they just needed like a caretaker that used to play for them that just needs to get like, it sounds funny, but like you get like a Sam Allardyce or a Sean Dyche just to keep them up. Like, it sounds crazy because it's Tottenham, but they're so far down towards the bottom that they need someone just to get them points. And it doesn't matter how it looks. Because like we were joking earlier a couple weeks ago, Tottenham could have won Champions League and got relegated, you know?
Yeah.
Like one of those, it's the craziest thing ever. Like United and Tottenham last year were just, all their Prem games didn't matter. Like they weren't going to get relegated, but they weren't, so they had to focus on the Europa League. So it's good to see United out of that. I mean, knock on wood, hopefully we're at least playing European football. It looks like we're back in that, but
yeah,
optimistic.
Real quick. You said, so you don't want another Tactico coming into United. But if I gave you, let's say, a hypothetical where Luis Enrique leaves PSG and says he only wants Man United, do you still want Michael Carrick over Luis Enrique? Or would you rather just take, because personally, I would take Luis Enrique any day of the week.
Yeah, that's a fair question. I rate him. He's the one. I think maybe if you said like, even Tuchel, I don't know if I would want Tuchel, but like Luis Enrique is the one that's great. And the fact that Carrick gets them the Champions League, and then you have Luis Enrique going into a Champions League season. It's not something to complain about. But with that being said, like his Carrick obviously he doesn't have the experience as Enrique. Like he was at Middlesbrough before this.
Yeah.
But it's just hard not to reward the guy for something like that. That's a great question. To be fair, who I would rather, I'm gonna stick with Carrick. I mean, I'm a United guy.
I respect that.
Okay, I respect it. Yeah.
Like you said, I don't think out of those two, there's probably not many more managers you can name where I'd be like, but out of those, Enrique would be the one in world football. I mean, if you said Pep or actually, I'm not gonna. But if you said Pep or something like that, then yeah, we'll take them.
Because Ethan and I have had that conversation before, even just about Arsenal, where he's like, if Arteta like wins, just want like a Prem or a Champions League this year, but decides to leave at the end of the year or like gets sacked, who would you want? Who would you want? And I say Luis Enrique is the only one that I look at where I'm like, that's the guy. Anybody else, keep Arteta. Like,
but with that being said, like maybe the thing about the tactics is like maybe Carrick's making people think this team's better than they are just because he's getting them to win and getting the most out of them. And then Enrique's like, okay, they really have a good squad. Let me go in and play my way. And then it's like, okay, maybe these guys actually don't have the depth to play these formations that everyone's trying to get them to play. So I think if like you said, if Enrique comes in and they back him and they fucking sign Dembele because he wants Dembele, excuse my language, then you have to give him that and you have to fully back him. Like I'm tired of these managers coming in and they want Haaland and you give them Højlund. Like it's.
I like that. I like that. That little. I don't even know what you call it, abbreviation, that little rhyme there. But that being said, too, John, I think in my eyes, at least, and again, not a United fan, but just a ball knower in general. It's like you keep Carrick if you're not gonna spend big because he's one with these players. I think you only take Enrique if you're gonna actually go out and spend and build him a team because you can't bring Enrique in with these players. I mean, maybe you can, maybe they fit his system. But let's be honest, like do that. Like this isn't the PSG teams he's worked with. This isn't the Barca team he's worked with. You know, I just don't think he has the profiles. So it's like, again, it's kind of Spurs, right? You sack Postecoglou, who the players loved. He could get results out of the players. And then you bring in another manager you think is tactically better, but you don't even back him. Now,
And
some people,
they got them their first trophy. Like there has to be something to be said for that, in my opinion. Knowing, especially a club like that, knowing how hard it is to get one, no matter what trophy it is. I mean,
100%. I mean, I think he had a little bit of Amarim where he was a little bit tactically inflexible, which I can understand. And that's why we kind of probably lost some games where at times he needed to adapt. But I agree with you. Like as a fan of the club, you look at it and you're like, well, you kind of are showing that a trophy isn't really as valuable as you make it seem. You guys just want like a top 4 finish, which I get it. Like I worked at NYCFC in the business side. Like I understand how important these things are. Maybe at Spurs, it's not even as big a gap as it is for some of these smaller clubs, you know, and in the way like that they really finances matter so much. But it's one of those things too, where if you are a fan of the club, you're like, well, do I really want to win trophies? Because I should sack my manager. You know, things like that. And if you're also, and I'm sure you get this as a player, right? When you're looking at contracts, you're looking at things, you look at clubs, like you're not, if Tormenta comes back up next year, midway through the season, you're not going to go there because they just folded on you, right? And I know obviously a former club, no disrespect, but you know what I'm saying? Like these are things that managers, players, people look at, and like it's how you build your rep. So
I think it's massive now too. Like you said, recruiting wise, like last year you would have asked some players to come to United, and there's like 16th in the table and not playing for anything besides domestic cups. It's like whoa, and then simply a year later, like all of a sudden we're back up there. So it just helps like this transfer window. Hopefully, a Sandro Tonali just to slide right in for Casemiro.
There you go. Pooch loves Tonali, by the way. The only players Pooch backs in Newcastle, I don't know why we always talk about Newcastle, but the only players he backs are Tonali and Guimaraes. So
I'll take either of them.
Yeah, thank you.
He's good.
Yeah.
He's good.
Yeah, I always call them like a hamburger because their ass, they got cheeks on both sides or buns on defense and attack. And then down the middle, it's like the burger, like the juicy part, because the midfield is so good. Besides Joe Linton, but
I can't believe you just said they got buns on both sides. They got ass in the middle is the juicy part. We need to clip that. That's crazy. We're gonna clip Murph out of that to prevent.
We have a saying on the podcast. They're two cheeks of the same ass. So I was thinking that in that moment, but I was using a whole different analogy. So
it's okay. We're getting better at analogies on this podcast. We're not really a words podcast. We're not
words.
Really.
No, we are not words.
We're doing our best. Pronunciations. Don't even ask Pooch.
Kill us.
Horrific.
Don't ask me.
No, not good with them either.
Well, still got to go back to school.
I was going to say the online school, maybe.
Yeah, well, we're getting back into it.
We're getting back into it. John, what's 10 times 10?
100.
Okay, we're good.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. I struggled.
That was quick.
That was quick. That was
confident.
He hasn't had too many concussions. We're good. So all good there. But that being said, Owen, you've been waiting to ask this question not to Pooch. You've been waiting to ask it to Murph. Go ahead.
Yeah, I appreciate this. Definitely. I appreciate you putting me on the spot here. I had a question prepared, definitely. I just got to remember what it was. So obviously you're a defensive midfielder. It's a very important position of the soccer field. Do you see former MLS and U.S. international Darlington Nagbe as a bit of your kind of blueprint?
Honestly, I would love to be like Darlington Nagbe, because from everything I've heard from guys that have played with and against him, just say he is the most. It's almost like a Dembele situation where everyone just speaks so highly of Nagbe, and I think at his craft and what he did in the MLS, he was probably the best at. And I'm sure could have played at higher levels too. Just chose. I mean, he had such a good career. I think he's won a title with like 3 different teams or something. But I wouldn't mind playing a little bit like Darlington Nagbe. If I could be a half of him, then I'll be pretty happy.
Well said. I agree.
Good question, Owen. Really good job there.
Yeah. What's your you just a ball knower?
I had no idea. I specifically told E I didn't have any specific questions to ask, but he decided to put me on there, and I'm always thinking of Darlington, so figured I'd throw that out there to you.
Yeah, Owen.
Good question.
Yeah, we're working on getting some confidence in Owen, getting him outside, talking to people. He's usually you could see in his glasses, he's working on the podcast. So I'm just trying to help him socialize him a little bit. Really, Owen, really, really proud of you. Good job, man. All right, John, I'll leave this as our last question here. My mom's a teacher, so she had one of her students. I told her we're going to be interviewing a pro player. And so we had this question ready. So I actually have it written here. Timmy, in her second grade class, Timmy reached out and said, "Hey, Mr. Murphy, big fan. Respectfully, I don't know if he's watching One Knoxville, but big fan. I one day want to be a pro soccer player. How much money do you make?"
I plead the fifth, Timmy.
Yeah, Timmy asked, so he was just wondering there. So I'm just
I plead the fifth, Timmy.
Fair enough. John said nothing was off.
Millions and millions.
There you go. John said nothing was off the table. So we did have to cut the race, religion, and politics part. That was probably should have been off the table, but
got heated.
Yeah, it got heated there. Pooch and him really went back and forth. That being said, John, we really, really appreciate you coming on. You're our first pro on. We at this point, you're the best pro we've ever had on. You're the best player we've ever had on.
Oh yeah.
So congrats. I did tell John as part of agreement of coming on, other than me Venmoing him with $100,000 from our sponsor DraftKings, that on top of it, he will get, when we interview Messi and Ronaldo, John's jersey will stay right in the middle behind me. So it'll be John in the middle and then Messi, Ronaldo. Maybe at that point it'll be Lamine or something. Yeah. So I'll let you pick which one you send us. Maybe we'll send you back a Classes permanent kit. Maybe you could wear it into a game one day. I don't know.
Yeah. Classes permanent and a Miles Powell frat shirt, please.
Yes, sir. Yep. Yes, sir, Mr. Murphy. Yes, sir.
We can get both for you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Almost had me.
Yeah, Social Security wouldn't be bad too, or blood type, no problem. Pooch, for some weird reason, keeps giving out his address on the pod every week.
No one even asked.
I didn't invite Ethan over my new apartment for about a month because I knew he would just start spamming that address every single episode, and he has. Every single episode, he just spams my address.
We're trying to get him some ladies over there. Pooch has a lot of lady fans. We're trying to help him out, so we're spamming it. But all right, John, I'll let you go. You're a busy guy. You obviously have a big season. You guys got a game this weekend?
We play tomorrow night, and then we play Tuesday.
Okay.
In the cup. So
tomorrow night this will be dropping for us tomorrow. So he'll be playing tonight. Definitely keep an eye out there. John Murphy Jr., number 8, goleador, goal scorer there. And then again, take a look on Tuesday. I hope we get you some more eyes, and we'll be following. We'll be rooting for you as you move your way up. But that being said, we'll let you go. We appreciate it, John. Class is permanent. John is permanent. Oh no, John is class.
Thanks for having me, boys. That was fun.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. See you.
Alrighty. Awesome interview there with John. Again, super appreciative of his time. They're super, super fun. And looks like number one, he's going to be helping us get rich. We're going to help him get rich. Apparently he's already rich according to little Timmy and his investigative journalism. So appreciate that, John. But now we're super excited to get into one of my favorite segments that we've been doing here, bracketology. Owen, you put it together. You made it. Walk us through it. What do we got here?
All right. Today, we've talked about a lot of players. We said a lot of names in these brackets, so I wanted to switch up the theme a little bit. Wasn't sure what I wanted to go with, but I landed on fashion trends, football fashion trends. We've got a bunch of on-field attire lined up in two sides of the bracket here. So let's get right into the matchups. Sure. On the left side, I call this the sock conference. This is where all the sock-related things are. It's not only socks, but anyway. We've got the 1 seed long sleeves. Now, these are not undershirts. We're talking about the long sleeves built into the kit. Yeah, that's the 1 seed for a good reason, in my opinion. And then the 8 seed, we have nasal strips. We don't see them as much often, but I feel like they were pretty prominent when we were growing up.
Why did you do this to me? You put another 8 seed in a spot. I was wearing a nasal strip the first couple of episodes to be like Richard Rios.
God. You were. Yeah, well, I gotta take into account, a lot of factors when seeding these things. I had to seed something this week pretty low, and I didn't want to, but I had to because I have to think about the general whatever. Next matchup, we have the number 3 small shin pads versus the number 6 seed hole socks. And these are when people cut holes in the backs of the socks for those big circles. Then the number 4 seed high socks, we're talking above the knee, some big long socks. And the number 5 seed gloves, obviously not for goalies. We're talking field player gloves. Then the number 2 seed cut socks. Most socks are made this way now, but when you can see the white under sock, below the sock, wasn't always the case. It's pretty standard now. That's why it's the 2 seed. And I have jewelry, its opponent at the 7th seed. This is only so low because jewelry is not allowed. So we have to consider that you can sneak it onto the pitch like Koundé, but you're going to get reprimanded. So that's the 7th seed. Over on the other side, we have the 1 seed undershirts. Now, these are just long sleeve compression undershirts.
Classic messy, like turtleneck kind of
right.
vibe.
You'll love to see it. Against the 8 seed laceless boots. Curious to get your guys' thoughts on that. Then we have the number 3 seed headbands, PTSD for early Mystery 11 listeners. And versus the number 6 seed leggings or some base layer under the shorts. Then the number 4 seed snoods versus the number 5 seed goalie pants.
Oh, no, that's going to be a tough one.
That's a tough one. And then the 2 seed wrist tape versus number 7 seed baggy shirts. And we're talking like baggy shirts. Like when you would put on highlights of somebody from the 90s and they're just swimming in that thing.
Oh, all right. Yeah, you go ahead, Pooch.
I was going to say, great job, Owen. One thing I just want to know, because I see a lot of things on this that I hate and a lot of things on this that I love. Are we going for things that like good fashion trends or bad fashion trends?
Good. We're trying to find the best fashion trend.
Got it. Okay.
Now, Pooch, I think the next question here, and again, we just want the listeners to know what page me and Pooch are on. Pooch, are you and I going to go with like longevity and how many players do it, or are we going to go with just the best? Because that changes things. You know what I mean?
I'm going with the best.
I'm going to go with the best too.
It's class. Like whatever is the classiest type of fashion trend we have.
All right, sounds good. Oh, and I love this bracket. So let's get into this. Let's start with the 1 seed.
And honestly, Owen, I think this is very properly seeded for the most part.
I was going to agree.
That means a lot, guys.
Like I would say 95% of this, I would be like, this is perfectly seeded. There's 1 or 2 where I'm like, could be higher, could be lower, but not by a lot.
Any honorable mentions before we get into it?
Any honorable mentions?
The Petr Cech helmet.
The Petr Cech helmet.
I thought about the helmet. I thought about the mask.
Yeah.
But since I felt like those were like medical, like they don't really belong. I thought about short shorts.
Okay. Yeah.
But
that's not really fashion.
So the only other thing that I could have thought of was if you specified like tucked in shirt.
Actually, that was one of the first things I thought of when I thought of this idea, and then I forgot about it when I was actually making the bracket.
Do you want to replace one for tucked in shirt?
Is there anything here that doesn't
ride.
inspire you?
No, let it ride. Let it ride.
All right.
You've already created. No, that's a tough one because I'm gonna pick the 7 seed in that one.
How about you?
Because baggy shirts were just like a uniform deal. Everything else here is an option. So I think replacing baggy shirts with tucked in fits, because that's an option. Baggy shirts weren't an option back then.
What about rec specs? Did that ever have a time as a trend?
I'm a fan of rec specs.
Definitely not.
Okay.
Well,
all right, let's hop into it.
Yeah, the only other one I would say is for short shorts would be not necessarily short shorts like the club, just everyone wore them. The ones like the Alexis Sanchez, where he used to roll his shit up all the way and walk around like that. That was absurd. That was going to lose no matter what. But all right, let's get into the 1 seed here. We have long sleeves versus nasal strips. Now, I mentioned it earlier in the preview. I was wearing nasal strips the first couple of episodes just for the drip of them. Because I saw my guy, Richard Rios, the Colombian central midfielder who's playing over, I think he's at Sporting right now. Is he?
Benfica.
Oh, he is at Benfica. You're right. That being said, a long sleeve kit is a long sleeve kit. This is a strong 1 seed.
Yeah, I was going to say long sleeve kit is definitely over nasal strips because even using you as an example, you wore them for a couple episodes, but you don't wear them consistently every game, like every time. If
Yeah.
if you had 15 different long sleeve jerseys, you'd be wearing them every episode.
100%. And I think on top of it too, like the nasal strips are cool, but there's like no one doing that. I guess Neymar did it for a little, you know what I mean? It's like far and few.
It's a form is temporary. It's a form is temporary.
That is
not
true.
A class is permanent.
Also, if Richard Rios did his whole career, once you hit like 27, it's like, all right, like you can take it off. You're good.
Time to hang up the strips.
Yeah. toss them in the bin. Just go to sleep with them.
Yes.
All right, let's move to the 3-6. We have small shin pads versus whole socks. Pooch, this is one of the easiest ones for me. Small shin pads in a landslide. I hate the whole socks. I know why the players do it. I hate it.
Are you kidding me? I hate small shin pads with a passion. What is there is no need. If it's a shin pad, it's supposed to protect you. All these guys roll around on the pitch for 20 minutes after they get knocked in the shin because the shin pad is about this big. It's like, well, of course, put on a proper shin pad. Get your fucking tackle in there. Get a leg in there, mate. Fucking tackle him. Go on.
Pooch, you know what I'm going to say.
There's no need to do a small shin pad. If you're not going to wear shin pads, don't wear shin pads. Take the yellow every game. Don't put on a small shin pads.
See, I'm just going to call you soft there.
That's not being soft.
Is. You're like,
if anything,
wear big
no,
ones so you don't get hurt.
It's
just be a
soft
man.
to wear one. Exactly.
You
Be a
have
man
to.
and don't wear them. Don't wear them.
You have to. See,
but like,
so you
but
like the
don't
whole
roll
socks?
around.
My calves are a little tight in these. I got to cut these.
I'm going to be honest. I hate both of these, but I hate small shin pads more for the sole fact it's soft to wear a small shin pad and then roll around for 20 minutes on the ground after you get hit in the shin. The whole socks, okay. It as a fashion trend, whatever. I get it. Like, who cares? I don't love it. I would never do that to me.
I can't believe we're arguing over these.
Me personally would never do whole socks, but I would do whole socks before small shin pads Monday through Sunday, 6 a.m. to 5:59 the next day.
This is, let me give you a couple comparisons what this matchup is here. This is Iowa football versus Nebraska football. We're just going to punt. This is the Colorado Rockies versus the Oakland Athletics on a Tuesday midday.
Yep.
No one's watching that. This
50 guys in the stadium.
Yeah, like most of them probably work there. And you pick. They're going to lose to the 1 seed no matter what. So, and you pick.
Yeah, I got to go with the whole socks. I don't like either though.
Yeah, the fact small shin pads got the 3, that has to be just a popularity thing. Like how many players do it?
Yeah, that was.
It's so stupid to me. It's dumb. It's stupid. It makes no sense.
This was one of the hardest matchups for me. High socks versus the gloves. I love the look of the gloves, but let me tell you something. Like I used to rock the high socks back in the day. I think it was a little bit more
above the knee.
Oh yeah. But here's the thing. I used to rock the high socks with the gloves.
I'll say this. Fashion-wise, the gloves were a staple. Growing up, club, high school ball, the minute it got under 50 degrees, the amount of guys that would still just the regular jersey, short sleeve jersey, but the gloves with the short sleeve jersey went nuts in the fall. Like that, the image of wearing the gloves, like you'd rock up to the game and you'd see 5 guys on the other team wearing gloves, and you're like, those guys are the ballers of that team. Those guys are going to ball out. Like,
I'll let gloves win here.
Sense of that.
I'll let gloves win here because at some point I liked the high socks look, and I think it was very popular, and I think it started to die a little bit. So that's why I'm kind of like, I think gloves though, like you think about like Henry back in the day, like when he was wearing you just think iconic players with the gloves, the high socks. I just think Neymar. Maybe there was a couple others, like there was usually drippy players, but a lot of them are wearing like short socks now.
Yeah.
Cut socks or the jewelry. This is like if you didn't understand what Owen was saying, these are kind of like the leg sleeve socks now, where you're wearing, like, say, for instance, a pair of like Nike Crew socks, but you're wearing, you cut your socks so that way you have to still wear the same color as your team, but you could just wear like your normal type of sock. Jewelry, no. Cut socks. I don't think this is a debate. I mean, the cut sock. Yeah. Wow. Owen thought that was an upset.
No, I like the cut socks too. But the disregarding of jewelry was just a little surprising.
I guess like my thing with jewelry is you
Well,
can't
you
wear
can't
it out.
wear it.
You can't wear it out though. Like for instance, baseball, when people are wearing like a chain, that's a different conversation. But in like soccer, like guys don't have chains hanging out, you know? So it's kind of like, I don't know. All right. We are moving over to the other side of the bracket now. This is, again, for me, a very easy one. The number 1 seed undershirts versus the number 8 laceless boots. This comes out of not so much the fashion, because I actually think the laceless boots look really clean. Just the fact that every time I've tried these on and worn them, I've hated them. I like my, I've never been able to tighten them enough. I had a pair of Magistas. I think I had a pair of, there was another, maybe like a pair of F50s or something without laces. Undershirts, I just think I think Messi, 2000, maybe 10 or 11, where he'd wear like the little turtleneck popping out with it. And that to me is just an iconic look. I mean, players still rock. It's obviously more about the cold than anything. Something iconic about those undershirts, especially for those who are kind of like kit guys and like the uniform aspect of the game. For a while, manufacturers stopped making proper long sleeve shirts. So this was the kind of way you got like that long sleeve look. I'll let Pooch either rebuttal or agree here.
Only thing I have to say is laceless boots equals utter woke nonsense.
I agree. I totally agree. Let's go undershirts. Alrighty. And then we have our 3 versus our 6. I don't even want to say it. It gives me PTSD. The 3 seed headbands versus the number 6 seed leggings. Leggings should never have been on this list. Never on this list. Get leggings out of here. Headbands, though, obviously, iconic. Absolutely iconic. All of us have probably at one point tried to wear a headband. I actually know there's a picture of Pooch with a headband playing. I wore a headband
for like 2 years playing.
Yeah, I mean, this was just... I remember asking my mom to take me to CVS so I could go buy headbands because I had long hair because I wanted to be like Fernando Torres. Yeah.
As someone who had to wear a headband, it got very annoying. And like about 2 games into every season, I would just go get the haircut.
Wow. Oh, look at me. I'm Owen. I have such great long flowing hair. I had to wear a headband. Great, man. Congrats. Yeah, I tried it.
I wish growing up when I was wearing headbands playing that the style now is like that bigger, like the longer headband.
Yeah, I was about to say.
It's not like the string, it's like the long. I wish I was around when that was, because that I agree with Owen, would have been awesome to wear instead of the single one, because the single one would a few times would just pop out and then you lose it while you're playing and you're like, why am I worried about that? Like, I have to play. And then you're like, I'm out. I'm without a headband. But I do think headbands beats legging any day of the week. Like,
one of my favorite looks right now too with the headbands is like the ninja style headband.
Yeah.
Like the thick one tied around. It's not for every player. It is not for every player. But like, again, when you talk footy fashion, you got to talk Neymar. Like him rocking like the 100% Jesus one after the remontada or Champions League. That one was sick. I think Koundé's maybe he's just on the thicker one. There's a couple of players that when they rock it, I mean, one of our boys, Lidar, he'll throw it on and like he looks sick when he plays with it. He's got like a nice little Pirlo kind of flow. And then our buddy Jev sometimes throws it on. Jev just looks like he's about to fight crime though when he's playing. So headbands obviously goes through here. That was an easy one. And then let's move on down. This one's tough. Snoods is the number 4 seed. If you don't know what a snood is, it is like what would you call it? It's like a neck hoodie, kind of. Yeah. It's like the neck warmer, essentially. That kind of you can put it up over your nose.
It looks like almost a ski mask if you didn't put it over your head.
Let's be honest what it looks like. Like Owen said, it was kind of like the ski mask that just kind of covered the neck.
What did we used to call it growing up though? Like it had like an unofficial name.
Was it not kind of a shiesty back then? I don't know.
No. It had something to do with like your body. That was the nickname.
I don't know. I'm not even going to acknowledge what Pooch is trying to put down right now.
I feel like you like said it or something earlier. I forget though.
Anyway, versus number 5 goalie pants. I think we're talking goalie pants here. I'm hoping we're talking about, I forget what, maybe it was the Austria or the Hungarian goalkeeper a couple years ago who wore the gray sweatpants. I think it was at the World Cup at the Euros. Yeah. Is that we're talking? Yeah. So snoods is definitely the drippier option. That's for sure. But there is something awesome when you see just kind of like a chubby bastard goalkeeper out there with a pair of gray sweatpants on, just fighting for his life. I don't care either way. I'm going to give this one to Pooch to pick.
I always will pick Snoods. Bringing it back to growing up, you'd look across the pitch pre-game. There's now there's not 5 guys wearing gloves. It's like there's 2 guys wearing a snood. And you're like, okay, the 5 guys wearing gloves, those are the best players. The 2 guys wearing the snoods, we're going to get dogged today. Like, those guys are just going to be so much better than every other person on this pitch.
I totally agree. The snoods was the goalie pants or you know what it's like? It's like when you see a goalkeeper wearing a cap on a sunny day. It's like fun, but if they wear if every goalie was doing it, you're like, okay, this isn't as fun.
Like Dean Henderson, the first time he whipped out the goalie hat, you're like, oh, that's awesome. He whips it out now 8 times a season, and it's like at this point you're just like, you're not good enough to keep wearing it. Like, let's. Yeah,
I totally agree. So snoods goes through there. This is our number 2 seed, wrist tape, versus our number 7 seed, a tucked in kit. I personally am going to go wrist tape here. I used to like rocking a little wrist tape. You can write a little message on it if you want, whatever it might be. Tucked in is a decent look. And I still think maybe back in the day I was always tuck in because you're kind of supposed to. But let's be honest, tucked in is not the best look. The best look is an untucked kit. I know Rodri does it. He pulls it off, no problem. But the wrist tape is so drippy. You throw one on just one wrist, you write a little message, you maybe put a little cross if for our Catholic listeners out there. I don't know. I think that's an easy one. Yeah, Pooch.
Yep, easy.
Cool. Let's move back up to our number 1 seed, long sleeves.
Easy.
Taking on number 6, whole socks. We're not going to waste our time. Long sleeves. Whole socks, man.
We
Horrible
hated
look.
small shin pads and whole socks, so I'm okay with that.
I don't mind small shin pads. I wear small shin pads. I don't wear shin pads, to be fair. I'm really tough. Really
That's
tough.
fine. I would rather you wear no shin pads than small shin pads. I'd rather you wear that than the micro P shin pads.
I think we should. You guys should submit pictures of your own on-field drip.
I like that.
Just so we can know your credentials.
That's honestly, that's a good one. I like that. We'll see if we can find some from high school, or I can wear my leg sleeve and put on my class's permanent kit.
Please don't do that.
Everyone hates my drip, man. Sorry that I'm just trying to look good. Then we have our number 5 seed taking on number 2 seed, the 5 seed gloves taking on number 2 cut socks. This is a really tough one. I think I know where I'm going to lie here. I think I'm going to go with gloves. But that being said, cut socks is in a really unfortunate position here because cut socks should go deep because it is really such a great look. But I'm going to go gloves here. There's just something iconic about the black gloves, especially if you go short sleeves with them. Just something iconic about it. Pooch, what do you think here?
I agree. Gloves with the short sleeve. Maybe it's not snow on the snow isn't sticking on the ground, but it's snowing. People know, hey, this guy's tough as nails that he's in a short sleeve, but he's also concerned about his throwing ability later on in the game.
Of course, 100%.
It's one of the perfect trips.
In my actual playing career, I never actually wore cut socks. That just wasn't a thing back then, or at least I guess some players maybe were doing it, but I wasn't. Now I know it's the thing. You go to a Dick's Sporting Goods or something, and they literally sell socks that are sleeves.
Really?
Yeah, it's a thing. You just buy the blue. They call them leg sleeves, and then you wear your normal socks, which makes life so much easier. But
that's what my whole team had in college.
Oh, really? You guys just only had leg sleeves? That was provided?
That was it. Yeah.
Interesting. I like that. I remember the one time I did cut them. I was playing a game in college. For at home, I was working with a U21 team, and they asked me to play. And I remember I wanted to look cool, so I went home and I took my blue socks and I cut them. The problem is they frayed at the end, so you had to take a lighter and you had to light the bottom so that way the fraying got rid of it. Watch the whole tutorial.
Is that the game that we invited you to be Tim Howard against Montclair State?
No, I wish.
Okay.
It was it was a separate U21 game. We were playing I don't know, it was a U21 team here in town. They asked me to come back wildly out of shape, and they asked me to boss the midfield. I told my parents, they both were oh, we can't make it. My mom ends up coming to watch 2 minutes of the game, and she watched them put BTA. But she watched me run in literally a circle multiple times. I could not get anywhere near these guys that we were playing against. I think it was honestly a FC Motown, I don't want to call it affiliate club or a Cedar Rapid, not Cedar Rapid, Cedar, it was a really top team, and they threw me in there like heavy, out of shape, full fields, the whole, and they were like, yeah, go play in the 10. I'm like, what's the tactics? Like, just go try and get the ball. I'm like, okay. That being said, let's go back over here. Undershirts, number 1 versus headbands, number 3. I have an upset here. I'm taking headbands.
I have headbands too.
Because long sleeves is in the bracket, I'm going to go headbands here. Just more iconic than the undershirt. But the undershirt, strong 1 seed, but unfortunately has its flaws. That's it is what it is. And then to round out our final 4, Snoods versus the wrist tape. 2 versus 4 seed, Snoods being the 4 seed. I'm personally going to take wrist tape. I think wrist tape is just an iconic look.
Yeah.
I like it. It's a strong 2 seed. It probably should have taken the 1 seed over undershirts, but maybe it had a couple late game losses, and because of that, they dropped to a 2 seed. Snoods, very situational in my eyes. Not everyone can rock a snood. Most players can rock a little wrist tape. You have a lot of customization.
You also can't. You have to be a specific player to rock a snood.
The same
you
players,
have to be a winger, a creative 10, an 8. You can't be a fullback rocking a snood.
No.
Like, if we're being honest, like,
no, 100%.
that makes you look soft.
The same players that you were worried when you saw wearing gloves were usually wearing the snoods, you know, and then they also probably had a lower wrist tape, and then they probably had cut socks, the whole thing. But this brings us to our final 4. On the left, on what Owen's calling the sock side, we have at the 1 seed a powerhouse, something that fans to this day still look for in vintage kits, something that manufacturers, due to demand, had to bring back. The number 1 seed, long sleeves, taking on a 5 seed that maybe was a bit undervalued here, but the nostalgia, gloves. On the other side, we have a 2 versus 3 matchup, and it's a juicy one. Old Reliable, something that probably started as mainly a medical thing that just became absolute drip. The 2 seed, wrist tape, taking on something that I think when you talk about the maybe classiest players of all time, this may go synonymous. A beautiful flowing mane held back by a nice headband. Number 3, I think we're going to start with the sock side here. Pooch, number 1 seed, long sleeves, taking on number 5 seed, gloves. This is a tough matchup. I think the 1 seed is strong, though. Very strong.
So I'm torn because if I'm looking at it as drippiness from a professional level, I think long sleeves get the win. If I'm looking at it from a overall like youth soccer, like amateur soccer kind of way, I think gloves get the win because I think it's like growing up when you look across the field, somebody wearing gloves, you're like, really good. That's good drip that they have, like we mentioned, especially with the short sleeves. The long sleeves, though, if you're watching a professional game, like you mentioned, like it's so high in demand fashion wise, like footy street fashion, the long sleeves, like everybody wants a piece of that jersey. Yeah. That it's just iconic. I do think I'll have to go long sleeves here because one image that keeps getting put in my mind is the, I believe, Inter versus AC Milan image where they're fighting for the jersey with the flares going off in the background and everybody in the photos wearing
long sleeves.
Long sleeve, yeah.
I think long sleeves. I think gloves puts up a good fight. I think this is a game that maybe at some point gloves is even up a bit. But I think at the end of the day, long sleeves is just too strong, too dominant, too much star power. It sees its way into the finals. And then on the other side, wrist tape versus headbands. I think the number 3 headbands will take wrist tape here. And here's why. We talked about a little bit of selectiveness. And I think there is something with fashion with not everyone be able to pull it off. And I think this is a spot where headbands does decide to jump over wrist tape. Wrist tape's old reliable. But I also think there's something where when everyone's doing it, when everyone can do it, it's just whatever at that point. Headbands, you need to have legitimate genetic ability to be able to rock the headband. Plus, on top of that, like Owen said, you have to have resilience to be able to rock the headband. Wrist tape is easy. You got to have a little resilience at the end to maybe not rip off your arm hair. That used to suck. But literally everyone on the fields can have it. I don't know. I'm going headbands here. What do you think, Pooch?
I really want to pick. I agree with everything you just said. But wrist tape too, are we allowing wrist tape to cover hand too? Or is it just wrist?
You mean
like if you put it like this, like how Suarez has it, where it covers up his palm basically. Is that being allowed under wrist tape, Owen, or no?
Yeah, it was originally wrist/hand tape, but it was too many words.
See, like, with
That
that being
changes.
said, I think, because I would agree, like, just the wrist tape anybody could do, but, like, the iconic Suarez with it, Jalen Brunson
Yeah.
going like that. He doesn't use wrist tape at all, but I, I like Jalen Brunson when he does that, and, like, you could Photoshop AI wrist tape onto it, and it would look cold. Like,
Yep.
I don't know. It's like the hand tape to me with the wrist tape puts it over a level in terms of like iconicness of the trend, like of the fashion trend. Comparatively, headbands, once again, like everybody could do it if they just went to Turkey.
Pooch, you've swayed me. I'm going to go wrist tape. I agree. I didn't even think of the hand tape. Owen disagrees. Admin O.
The fact that Pooch just gave the most ridiculous argument I've ever heard. He talked about photoshopping AI tape on Jalen Brunson. He talked about going to Turkey and getting a hair transplant. Listen, I'm not mad about what you picked. I'm just mad that you let that argument sway you.
Hey, Owen.
That's crazy. For those I can't see, Pooch is doing the Brunson to Owen. I like when I say for those
Like
I
I said,
can't.
hey,
Those I
I'm
can't
fine
see.
with it.
There's no podcast that they can't. Like, there's no video.
I'll
So when I
say
say for
this
those I can't see,
too.
all of you can't see.
I'll say this too, Owen. Like when I mentioned Jalen Brunson with the hand tape, tell me your brain didn't automatically think of him with hand tape doing that, and in your head you went cold.
I feel like he does. He has worn wrist tape.
Yeah, I feel like he has.
There's definitely like a picture of him
All right.
with wrist tape.
Well,
I'm actually like so sure of it. Yeah, I'm looking at one right now.
all
Yeah,
right. So
and it's
that,
cold,
Yeah, because
right? The image is cold.
I feel like last playoffs he had a wrist injury,
Yeah,
so he had to
Yes.
wear like he had like a bunch of tape.
yeah, and it looked cold.
Yeah.
When he did the
Anyway,
celery.
yeah, no, that's fine. I'm
yeah,
okay with it.
He definitely, yeah, okay. It was a little different than we thought, but yes. All right, and then we have a final. Long sleeves, the 1 seed, the powerhouse, taking on old reliable wrist tape, the number 2 seed. As always, we're always going to let the fans make a decision here. We always post the bracket on socials. If you don't see it, you might not just be part of our Patreon, so make sure you subscribe to the Patreon so that way you can get all of our clips and games that we play. That being said, if I had to defend one here, I don't think I could go against long sleeves. There's just something so drippy about them. The wrist tape is nice, but wrist tape almost lost in the semis. Long sleeves did not even really have a question the entire time. This is a dominant 1 seed. This was like Maradona. Waza put up a good effort, especially when I defended him. But this is like a Maradona here. Just so dominant, sets the tone. When you think drip, the first thing you think of is the long sleeves. You then start to think of all this. It was literally the first thing on Owen's list. Pooch, anything to disagree with there?
Yeah, basically everything.
Wow.
Wrist tape? No, I don't know. I just wanted to say basically
I was like, wow,
everything.
okay. All right.
No, I personally would pick wrist tape only because I feel like it could have more of a cultural impact on all ages. You could be 11 years old rocking up to your county tournament and be rocking the wrist tape and be like, man, my boy E looks cold in the wrist tape today.
So true.
But you can't be wearing a long sleeve because your club doesn't provide you that long sleeve jersey. Like you could be a professional and be like, damn, Anthony Alenga looks cold wearing that wrist tape today. But also like, all right, he looks good in that long sleeve jersey. Like that's a good long sleeve jersey. The long sleeve jersey relies on the club. Like you're not going to just go out, like if it's a cold long sleeve, you're going to be like, oh, I want that. If Barcelona put out a really shitty jersey and they make it a long sleeve, like, are you instantly going to be like, yes, I need to buy that? Like maybe
No.
you, because you're a Barcelona fan, but like if it's like another example, like I don't know, Lille, if Lille puts out a cold long sleeve, you're going to be like, yup, need that. But if it's kind of mid or not a great jersey, you're not going to be like, oh, I need that long sleeve jersey just because it's a long sleeve jersey. Like the wrist tape, you're going to look at like, I don't know, who's Diomande. If Diomande starts doing wrist tape tomorrow and bangs in a Hattie, like you're going to be like, that's cold. Like he's doing a celebration with the wrist tape. You're going to be like, that's a cold celebration with the wrist tape. that's my goat. Like that's my new goat. Like so I think wrist tape has a longer generation it can have an impact on multiple generations and multiple levels within the footballing world compared to long sleeve jerseys where basically you only remember the classiest of the classiest jerseys. You don't remember the thousands of failed long sleeve jerseys because you never got them.
That was so long-winded. It was
I
a
know.
decent argument.
I started going on and on and on, and I didn't know where to stop. It's like
It
I
was
was
good.
a train conductor, and I
we go.
forgot where, and I'm doing it again. Where the
You're
brakes
good.
were.
Keep going. You're allowed to talk. We don't.
No,
we don't...
I finished. I finished what I was gonna say.
Okay. Yeah, let us know what you think on the bracket on socials. I think it's long sleeves. Pooch is very passionate about the wrist tape. Fair enough. I'm not knocking. I'm not yucking your yum. With that being said, I think we're gonna end the podcast here. You guys got anything else to say?
Enjoy time with your family and
Yes.
friends this weekend
Without a doubt.
because this will be one of the few weekends for the next upcoming months with the World Cup and the end of the season coming up where you're going to be not locked in your house/apartment having to watch footy all day. So enjoy the time with people.
Pooch, that was
And
wonderful.
do things that people want you to do as well. If like somebody asks you like, hey, can we go to like this farmer's market this weekend? Go to the farmer's market because then in 3 weeks you could just be like, nah, I can't. I have to watch this game. And they're going to be like,
smart.
all right, well,
Smart.
they did go with me that one weekend to the farmer's market. Like,
Yeah, it's a good weekend to kind of build up some credibility, build up a little.
And if the person that you're going to that farmer's market with doesn't realize that there's no footy, do not tell them, yeah, I can go because there's no footy. Just
don't say that. Don't say that.
Just be like, I was going to watch this game, but this is more important. Let's do this.
Pooch, that's actually very, very good info. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Owen, I'm very proud of you today. You let me down in Chapel Roan, but let me tell you something. You still stepped up to the plate. You went 2 for 3 today with a homer, or two for 4 with a homer. Not too bad. Maybe 2 for 5 with a homer. Yeah, other than that, guys, if you are a One Knoxville fan and you've been listening this entire time, first off, thank you. Welcome. If you're a John Murphy fan, you've been listening this time, thank you. If you're one of our normal fans, we love you. Thank you for always coming and joining. We are still on the road to 100 followers, 100,000 followers. Yeah, other than that, make sure you keep listening. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple Music. I think we're going to start trying to be on YouTube more. And yeah, we're on the socials. Class is Permanent Pod. Give us a follow. Send some love. If maybe we get, 10 Knoxville fans to respond to our latest Instagram post, we'll have Owen post something tomorrow for a new episode. If we get 10, me and Pooch will do an away days where we hang out with Knoxville fans the entire time. And Pooch will buy the entire section that we sit in, John Murphy Jr. jerseys. Yep. He said, yeah, he said fair. All right. Well, before he changes his mind, that's it for us. Class is permanent. Form is temporary. Have a good one, guys.